Morning guys, just doing last little final checks and trying to sort of let people know that I'm online. Yeah, hope you're all well. Give me a little shout out in the messages that you can hear me all nice and clear. So yeah, let's do the final couple of little things just to sort of see if people know we're here basically. So as obviously the title kind of says, this one's obviously all about sprues. Sounds okay. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for that, mate. I say I'm just doing the last couple of little. Basically, I'm doing like little messages on a variety of places just to let people know that I am live. Just to hopefully entice more people to come along and chat. Really. So, guys, if you are sort of members of any kind of like Discord or forums or anything that you think might sort of appreciate. Doing things obviously sprues and making stuff. By all means, share my videos and obviously share the the tag for this stream. Really, right? Yeah, I think that's about as much as I can do. Morning. Yeah, so this one's going to be a bit of all sorts. Basically, obviously, it's going to be a bit of the town Manta, a bit of the monster bash thing. I did a little bit more to him last night, not much because I had to go out. Basically, I've given him like one arm. And I didn't like the way I'd done the cutout in the donut. So basically I fixed that or changed that. Again, that'll all be in the video when it comes out end of the month. But yeah, I've also noticed there's been quite a lot of new subscribers in the past sort of week or so. And most of them have come through videos that are to do with sprues. So that's why today and tomorrow I'm going to do a few little projects with sprues. Just so I can do a video that will probably come out. Might be Thursday, but more likely Friday. And the video is basically going to be like a recap of what to do with sprues, how obviously to make goo, which is obviously pretty simple, and then what can be done with it, as in like doing the panels, making the rivets, you can put it in molds and stuff. So it's going to be a video that's going to like recap a lot of stuff that I've done before. It's just I'm getting asked obviously a lot of the same questions, which is cool, because obviously it means there's a lot of new people joining the channel. And obviously want to know more about certain things. So it's like some videos where I use the sprue goo, but I don't actually mention how to make it, because obviously I've mentioned that in the video prior to that. So that's why I'm just going to do a recap of obviously how to make it, which is obviously simple, and then what can be done with it, what you can make from it. I'm going to go through some of my builds and obviously explain the main thing that I like this stuff for is obviously when you make anything, make a framework inside, and then you can make panels. And this can go on the panels, or in some cases, like the arm on this dude. Obviously, it's just a sprue that I bent round, and then put sprue goo over the top to obviously sort of flesh it out, basically. So yes, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna say a short video. It might not be a short video. Still might be like 10-15 minutes long, showing how to do certain things, showing some of the builds I've done and how I made them, and basically just sort of answering some of the questions that seem to sort of pop up quite a lot, really. So that's why I did that little thing on the comments section, or the community tab thingy on YouTube, asking if anyone's got any questions. Because obviously there's lots of questions I'm going to answer already that have come up quite a lot. But if anyone's got any questions, then I'll answer them in that sort of video as well. So, morning. Good to see everyone. So obviously we've got Steve there, which is awesome. We've got Joseph, Cybermat, a Smith a day, description, Dominic Moyle, Flack Rat, Leonard, yeah, cool. So some regular names and some new names, which is cool. Lena, still waiting for the Blood Bowl arena. Puts his head down in shame. Yeah, I think that used to be near the top of my list. I think that's now dropped quite a lot. Only to say, so I'm obviously doing some bits and pieces now, but I'm also doing some D&D sort of stuff because I've got my first game. I think I finally got my first game in, well, it's been about 3 weeks' time. It's so, because I want to do face-to-face gaming. It's so hard trying to get people together. Well, first of all, it's hard finding people that play the game. And then when you do, it's then trying to work out timings. Because obviously everyone works differently. There's some people who do different shifts. So yeah, so I've got my first game hopefully in about, I think it's 3 weeks. And then we've tried to do it so that every week then we can play the same game. So yeah, so obviously I'm doing quite a lot of D&D stuff. I've got bits over there that I'm building like sets. So they're like big dioramas, but also they can be used in D&D. And then I'm making lots and lots of pieces. So basically, again, it's like modular. Lots and lots of pieces. So I can rearrange how the terrain looks. I'm making lots of dungeon tiles, trees. I've got a shed load of figures that I've printed out. I just need to paint them. But I've got the army painter sent me loads of paints, and they turned up 2 days ago. And they're over there. There's loads. I think there's about 80 or 90 paints. So lots of paints. They're all D&D related paints as well, which is awesome. So I'm going to be doing lots of painting as well. So yeah, lots to do. So that's why, unfortunately, I think the Blood Bowl is now right on the very bottom. So Submat's going to have me in the background. Awesome. And you can hear it loud and clear. Yeah, it's Smith a day. I am good. Yeah, I've obviously still got a bunged up nose, but it doesn't seem as bad this morning, which is nice. So I'm going to be doing a bit of all sorts. And as you might see, obviously my little jar was obviously running out. Acetone turned up yesterday, so I went out and I got a jar. And I thought, well, why just get one jar when you can have 2 big jars? And then when I come to sort of like getting the stuff out with my little tool, like to make his arm, obviously sort of putting it in there, scooping a little bit out. Obviously the problem with these is they're quite obviously deep, so it's difficult to get it in and scoop it out. So I also went out and got a Diddy jar. So this Diddy jar is basically going to be used whenever I'm like got my piece and I want to get a little bit out, sort of like put on him. The little jar is perfect for that because I haven't got to sort of dig down deep. I can just get in, little scoop. So yes, I've now got quite a few jars, which is pretty cool. I bought a litre of acetone and it's pretty much used up in this. I think there's a little bit left, not much, about an inch left in the bottle. But so this will last quite a while. It's like for the next few days, I'm still making loads of panels. So with the Tau Manta, I want to make loads of panels first, just so when I build the carcass of the centerpiece, I can just get all the panels and then crack on and get that centerpiece done. I don't really want to sort of start building it and then having to leave it. So I really want to get lots of panels. So I've got about 6 at the moment. This is going to make, well, at least another 6 or more. And then so I'm leaving them for a good few days because the problem I found, obviously doing the panels like this, that it dries sort of within 12 hours. This will be dry and it's cool. But then as the days go on after that, it starts to warp. As in, obviously, it's probably not fully dried, so it is still drying. So the ends start going up. So I've got loads of big books on all the panels I've made so far, which is obviously going to delay the process even longer because it means then when I make the panels, it's going to be like at least 3 days, 4 days before I can actually use the panels because I want them to be flat and stay flat, basically. So again, that's why the Tau Manta is going to be quite a big build. But I'm trying to prepare for it and get everything ready that I can, just so when I start building it, assembling it, gluing it, I can really crack on and get like lots done in one go. So, Ranted Fever, morning geezer to you, buddy. Hope you're well. Lion, I was following you at the start, and now I have 47.5 subs. It's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, I must say I am kind of amazed by how the channel has grown. Especially when obviously I started it just to keep myself occupied during lockdown 2 because I was getting extremely bored. Yeah, so I am kind of working up and hoping or aiming that maybe next year I might be able to do this full time, which is why I'm doing more streams because the streams do seem to be sort of helping, and the fact that obviously I'm making stuff or doing stuff every day. So yeah, you guys may as well be there watching what I'm doing, basically. Let's have a look. Toby Hampton, interested to see the D&D stuff. Yeah, I've really gone to town with D&D. I bought a shed load of books, the starter set. I've even gone out and bought the Stranger Things box set, just because obviously I love the front cover. I mean, I love Stranger Things. Oh, yeah, I love Stranger Things, but obviously I used to play D&D back in 1983, and obviously this is. I'll try and get this thing off. This is obviously how the box set looked that I bought back in 1983. Obviously not the picture that's there, but yeah, the style Dungeons and Dragons starter set. This is how it obviously looked. Obviously with the exception it had. Oh, can't actually quite see what that is. It obviously had that picture on it. So that is like this. It brings back lots of memories for me because obviously 1983 was a long time ago. So yes, that's why I bought this, purely because I love the box. I may never even get the thing out of the box. I might just leave it in the box. Right, let's put some of them back. Oh yeah, there's something else I need to check, guys. My dice tray. I got an email yesterday saying the dice tray is now live, can be brought. For those who haven't seen my dice tray, I will get my dice tray. Yeah, so I've kind of partnered up with a variety of companies. Oh, excuse my head being right in the shot. Yeah, partnered up with quite a few companies. All to do like miniature hobbying or hobbying in some sort of way. And one of them is Easy Roller Dice. And they've been sending me some awesome dice. I'll show you some of the dice in a minute. But, oh, let's see. Sprues. whenever I'm cutting them, sometimes I say they twang off. And they do. I find them later on. Also, there's one in there. So, yeah. So you can now get a dice tray with my face. And I love nibbly. That's quite apt that was in there, I guess. Nibbly knobbly bits. And I got this, oh, I don't know. Feels like about 6 months ago, I think they made me this. And then they said they'd make some. And obviously they'd sell them to, obviously, you guys. So they finally got me an email yesterday saying, yeah, it's all done. It's there. Oh, let's check. I might put the... Because I have got a discount code for them as well. Oh, let's have a look at the old chat box. Why is that not coming up? Okay, I'm not sure why the chat box isn't working. Anyway. Yeah, so this is now available to buy. But when I went on last night to look at it, it said sold out. But it wasn't sold out. I think their thing hadn't sort of clicked in or done whatever it was going to do. And yeah, I was going to check whether it's whether it is now available. Oh, where's me? So if you bear with me just 2 seconds, I'm just going to check to see if these are sort of in stock, and I need to check if the if it's in the description. So bear with me, guys. So literally, I didn't have the kids last night. So I didn't do the school run this morning. So I literally woke up about 8:30. So I woke up, obviously trying to get things ready, but as you can tell, I haven't got everything ready. So I like to be organised where possible, but I say obviously half hour to get ready, get everything sorted here, put all my cameras in place. Yeah, didn't quite manage to do it. Right, what am I doing? Oh, here we go. But yeah, I'll go through and show you some of the dice as well. So this stream is going to be more about sprues. But obviously every now and then it might just dip into other stuff. Let's have a quick look. Oh, it's still saying sold out. Well, I'm going to start putting the link to the dice tray. It's $22, but I've got a discount code to get 15% off. So if you do want to roll your dice on my face, there will be a link in the videos soon. But yeah, it's saying sold out. But I know they haven't got many. As in, they printed so many off to see how it would go. So yeah, so they might go quick. Or they might not even go at all. I don't know. But they have said, though, if these do sell well, they're going to make some dice with my logo on. Which would be pretty awesome too. Alright, let's put that back. I'll go through the dice another time, actually. But yeah, I've got quite a lot. I've got quite a few sets of dice. One of my favourite ones is this bad boy. Obviously, these are like the normal size dice, and this one is absolutely huge, and it's metal. So if you really want to annoy people, you get this dice out, roll it on the table, and it'll just it'll obliterate the table, as well as obviously everything that's kind of sitting on it. Right, let's move things around again. So I like to keep it nice and tidy. Let's have a quick look if I missed anything. So I don't know why the chat box isn't working. I don't know. Twisted Monkey, good morning. YouTube alerts do work after all. Awesome. Oh, cool. Maybe I'm getting back into YouTube's favour, and they're letting people know that yeah, I do exist. I am still here, and I am doing stuff. Lion, how much time can you store the goo on acetone? That is one of the questions I am going to answer. Basically, say the video that's going to come out this week is going to be a combination of me going through, showing a few processes with these, showing some of the models, roughly explaining how I made them, and yeah, answering a lot of questions, like how long can you leave the stuff in there for. Basically, the longest I've had stuff in one of these jars and not used it, not taken the lid off, not done anything with it, was 7 weeks. So it had been sitting there for 7 weeks. So obviously somewhere in my period of making stuff, there's a period of 7 weeks where I didn't make anything using the sprue goo. And yeah, 7 weeks it was in there. It still came out fine. It was a little bit thicker, as in this stuff comes out and it's quite runny. It was a little bit thicker, but still usable to roll out and do all the other stuff. So yeah, but that, again, that's what I'm going to go through when I do the video this week. I'm going to have a little chat about my experience of using it, how I use it, and what I think it's really good for. Clay Shark, good morning to you. Ranted, stream is a great way to interact with the community too. It is, yeah. The only reason I kind of stopped, because I did these back in, was it December, January, so quite a long time ago. But I noticed my videos were getting less views. And I wasn't sure if it was because when you do a live stream, obviously you guys are watching me now, awesome. But when the video gets turned, when the live stream gets turned into a video, obviously, imagine you got a 3-hour video and people might click on it, be on it for like 2 minutes and then come off. And I know YouTube doesn't like that because it sees that as a negative, because obviously people are coming on and not staying. But obviously they're not going to stay for 3 hours unless you're here now with me, and then you might stay for 3 hours. So I kind of stopped doing them because that kind of happened, and then I think I then started getting busy with work as well. So, After Things, morning, buddy. I watched your video. Well, I watched your video about 3 o'clock in the morning because I woke up and I went and watched it. Awesome. I was going to leave a comment. Well, I'd started writing a comment, and then I kind of lost track of what I was saying. I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, After Things, I love your new video. Really good, mate. Can't stay long. Just want to suggest, have I got sprues for you? Sprues night. Have I got sprues for you? That's cool. Yeah, I think the title, again, I'm going by what titles seem to work well. Again, YouTube, you really have got to think smart sometimes on when you do a video, giving it a name title that is YouTube's gonna then promote. And I seem to find recently, if my video's got how to in it, or how to make, it seems to like, YouTube seems to like it. So my video this week will probably be called How to Make Awesome Things with Warhammer Sprues. That's probably going to be the title. Just because the how to make seems to work well. Warhammer works well. Sprues works well. So combine the lot. Got me on the winner. And chuck in the word awesome. Hey, it's awesome. So one of the first things I need to do this morning is, I don't know if you saw the other day. Where is it? But obviously, when I cut the sprues up, I was cutting them up and then putting them in 2 boxes. Oh, I went in that room already. So the 2 boxes I was having was obviously when I cut the sprues up, I cut them up so I can keep. So basically, when I get the sprue, the problem is when you pull one out, they kind of like pull the lot out and they're just all over the floor. So the first thing I do when I get obviously said sprue is I go around, I cut out the inside, keep the outside, and then I cut the outside obviously into nice long lengths, just because these are obviously cool for making frameworks and sort of supports, and well, in this case, long arms. And then the inside bit I cut up into nibbly knobbly bits by cutting them into, well, bits like that, basically, so small little bits. And then them bits go in that one. And yesterday that one was chocker. It was full. I mean, if you watched yesterday's stream, it might not be that stream, or the day before stream, that was chocker. But obviously getting my my 2, so these, I mean that's the one I was using, nice size. And I got this one, which is obviously sort of another sort of like almost 50% bigger. So obviously all of the sprues that were in there, which was saying, well, pretty much that was almost full to the very top, went in this jar and the other jar. So this is going to make a lot of panels, which is awesome. So that's what, basically today I'm going to be making panels. So again, visually, this isn't going to be a very fun video to watch or stream to watch, which is why every now and then I'm going to pop in other little bits, because the first thing I'm going to do is go through loads of these, cut them up, put them into the different sections. I am also filming bits today for the video that's going to sort of go through the sprues. So the other thing that I was going to do, again, because obviously, again, the main reason for doing that video this week is a lot of new subscribers, but they've seen some videos, but obviously not all of them. So if you've seen all of them, then you'll know exactly what I can do with sprues. So this video I'm going to do this week is, as I say, it's like a roundup of everything that I've done over the last year with sprues and what can be done with sprues. And obviously one of them, I think I've got one of the panels, but obviously I make flat panels with this stuff, which I'm going to show in the video, but also the fact that you can make a mould. I mean, I made this far too thick. I don't know why I made it that thick, because it's not very deep. But this is the one, when you put the goo in here, roll it out, it then makes the panels look like they're corrugated sheets. So again, I just want to show that you can use moulds. I say this was used loads, and the acetone doesn't seem to affect silicone rubber. And then it doesn't sort of like dissolve it, melt it, disfigure it, or do anything to it basically. So again, that's what I'm going to bring up in the video. And if you saw my video where I made, again, I always look, whenever I look off screen, or off you guys, it's because I'm actually looking at what it is I'm talking about. So over there is my Orc truck. I think that's one of the first videos where I really started using sprue goo in moulds, because I made this. I mean, you might be able to guess what it is. Basically, it's a tyre. So I got a tyre, I made a mould of it, and then when you get the sprue goo, you put it in here, again, compact it down. After about an hour or two, when it starts to dry, you push it down again, because sometimes when it dries, or not when it dries, but the acetone in it evaporates. Sometimes leaves little air pockets. So again, every now and then, say an hour or two later, push it down, and hopefully that'll get rid of any air that's trapped in there. So again, just showing how well sprue goo is, that you can make a mould of something and then fill it. But I will also explain that you can't do a too intricate mould. As in, these are quite simple, you just put them in and you can just pop them out. The intricate mould is where you have bits going in and then going, like thin bits going down. Them ones you can't really do. So that I'm going to go through in the video. And the other question that obviously comes up is, can you use rollers on it? And the answer is yes. So I've got a green stuff roller. Mine's just like little bricks. So again, when you roll the goo out on the tray with the, obviously, roller, again, going to go through that in the video. If you leave it for about 10-15 minutes, I would say, because if you don't, it'll just stick to this like glue. Leave it for 10-15 minutes, then you can get this on there and you can roll it out, and it will leave the impression in it beautifully. So again, I'm going to go through that and show that. So, yeah, so it should be quite an informative video, the one that comes out this week. Because it is going to have lots of the things that I've found out about using sprues and sprue goo over the last year, really. Right, so that's obviously the good explanation, hopefully. Cupcake, morning! Oh, are you still up from the last night? Or are you just up early? Well, I don't know, you're just up early. Lion, catchy title. What brand are the organisers? Jacob, if I missed something, I'm not too sure. What brand, what organisers? What brand are the organisers? I'm not too sure. The Clay, Huey Lewis and the Sprues. Right, I'm going to have a quick turn things on and off. Say that chat box. I'm not sure why the chat box isn't coming up on the screen. Not that it makes much odds, but I like things to work. And obviously that clearly isn't. So why isn't that working? If we click it from one to the other, will that do it? Who knows? You woke up early. I must admit, me too. I woke up about 3 o'clock. Did the usual kind of thing. Jump on YouTube, had a little look, saw Daft Things video. Guys, if you're into animations, and oh, what are them figures called? Brain's gone dead. Mega Construct. God. Mega Construct figures, animations, and just all-round humour and fun. Go check out Daft Things channel. Awesome animator, and I say everything he makes is just funny. Yeah, it'll put a smile on your face, and they're just quirky and funny. That's the thing I was going to say, Daft Things, when I was typing my message. I don't know if you're still here. When are the English chaps going to come back? The English army guys, because I love them. They were funny. He means the drawers desks, the little drawers. Yes. Arty Station. Again, so there's a few companies now which have reached, well, some reached out to me and some I reached out to them. And they obviously supply me stuff, which is just awesome. I say, when I started this channel, I couldn't imagine people wanting to send me stuff for free. It's like, I mean, I say I'm a big kid and I get excited easily over certain things. And to me, that is just like Christmas Day when things turn up. So the other day, Army Painter sent me loads of paints. I get a big box, and there's like, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes inside this big box, and they're all variety sizes, like some small, some huge, loads of paints, loads of bits and pieces to make terrain and rocks and all kinds of stuff, which I'm going to go through another time. And this modular system is, let's flick up a bit so you can see a bit more. Arty Station. I was using Hobby Zone, and Hobby Zone was good, but then I found Arty Station online. Yeah, I contacted them actually. I contacted them and sort of said, your stuff looks amazing. Any chance you can send me a few bits? And they sent me a load of bits. Basically, these bits you see here, then behind me, there's probably about the same amount of bits. So loads of storage, which is obviously awesome. When you're doing this kind of thing, you do have like lots of little bits and pieces. So they sent me loads of this. There was a video I don't know, I only got it about 2-3 weeks ago. So there's a video of me getting this out, assembling it. Again, the difference between this Arty Station and Hobby Zone, this stuff goes together a lot easier. It looks a lot cleaner. Some of the bits are a lot thicker. So without hands down, Arty Station is better than Hobby Zone. The only drawback or comment I think I made when I made all this up was that they didn't have these little plastic bits on the inside. So obviously when you've got the gaps, you put anything in there, it can fall out. And that is the only comment I could make about Arty Station. Everything else is far better than anything else I've seen. So basically I just got obviously little plastic acetone sheets and glued them in. Job done. And that only cost like a couple of quid to buy the sheets. So nothing really. But yeah, so everything's really nice. It's really big. It's really solid. And they do a lot more bits and pieces. So funny enough, they actually contacted me yesterday to thank me for obviously doing the video with this. And to say, was there anything else I wanted? So obviously being me, I had a quick look on their website again. And they do a spray booth modular system that fits in with all of this. So it's one you put in the corner. It's got like plastic door that you open up. It's got all the bits there, but obviously you need to buy the extractor fan and just plug that in the back. But again, the fact that it fits in with this sort of system is fantastic. So they're sending me a spray booth. I don't do a lot of spraying, but I want to. As in, if I had a little booth here and I go and buy the bit that sort of sucks the air out and all that, then I probably would do more spray painting. Just because again, it's something I haven't done much of, and I really want to do more of. So yeah, Arty Station. There should be a link in the description. Just have a quick check. Oh, there isn't. Well, isn't. All right, I'm going to dig out the link because there should be a link there, but there isn't. Right, give me 2 seconds. I'm just. What am I looking at? Oh, there we go. Yeah, guys, if you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, please do. I say it's a little thing from you, but it really does help my channel out because YouTube loves interaction. And obviously when you click the thumbs up button, it sees it as interaction, which is obviously awesome. And I say it will help my channel out. And I say my goal is to try and get this channel to a position next year where this can be my full-time job, which would just be amazing. To do this full-time, yeah, it would be great. And obviously I'll be able to do more videos or bigger sort of videos, as in bigger builds, bigger things. So obviously it means I then got more money to spend on buying the stuff, really. Yeah, I don't know why. Right, bear with me 2 seconds because I just want to get their link in the description because it should have been there. I don't know why it's not. But yeah, Arty Station is what they're called. And I say if you go and have a look, their modular system, they do an absolute ton of stuff. And yeah, it's all really good stuff. Alright, nearly there. Right, there we go. So yeah, I've just added the link. Unfortunately, I don't have any discount codes. I might actually message them later and see if I can get a discount code. Yeah, because a lot of the other people that sort of helped me, or I help them, or help each other, have given me codes. So yeah, as in like the brushes I use are from Artist Station. The brushes I use are from Artiscapade. Great quality brushes. I think they're pretty cheap anyway, but I've got a 15% discount to get a bit more off. Obviously, any cubic 3D printer I use. Obviously, the new one that I've started working with is a company called Graphics Direct. And obviously, my new cutting mats, all the cutting mats I've got are from them. I've got a great cutting ruler, which is nice because obviously, if you've seen my previous videos, I've got a ruler. All the numbers are worn off. So it's nice to have a ruler where I can actually see what the numbers are. So yeah, Graphics Direct. If you're looking for obviously cutting mats, cutting tools, they do a general like, office stuff as well. But obviously for me, it's the cutting mats and cutting tools that I'm obviously interested in. So yeah, there's a link down below for Graphics Direct. Yeah, any of the links down below, guys. The video where it says items I use in the videos. If you click on them, again, it helps me out no end. Oh, the chat's working now. That's cool. Right, so let's get back to what I was kind of doing, which is basically about to cut up loads of sprues. Oh, what's going on there? Right, let's get a little drink. Oh, I missed. Andre, morning to you, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, the little drawers. Morning. What's the project? Right, James, I've got a few on the go. I've always got a few on the go. Let's just angle this down and then I'll run through what I'm kind of doing again. So obviously the two main projects, well, I've got lots of projects, but the ones I'm doing with Sprues are obviously the Monster Bash one. I did a little bit more to him tonight because I didn't like what was going on here. I added an arm. Obviously I'm making the Tau Manta. And like I've sort of explained a few times, with the Tau Manta, because it's so big, I'm going to make it pretty strong. And sturdy, as in the framework. Normally the framework I use for building anything, like the stomper that I made. The framework, I literally get obviously the sprues, glue them together, make a framework, and then put on the thin panels that I make out of sprue goo. Because of the size of the Tau Manta, I'm making it a lot bigger, a lot thicker. So I'm using the sprues like this, and then infilling it with the sprue goo, and then using these. So these are obviously a lot thicker, a lot stronger, and I'll be making like lots of boxes inside the Tau Manta just so it is strong. So that's why I'm making lots of panels. So I've got about 6 behind me, but I need quite a lot more. So I'll be doing that. But to do that, obviously, I need to make sprue goo. And to do that, this box is normally full of, well, little clip-ins, nibbly-knobbly bits, basically. So what I'm going to do for a bit this morning is to go through and cut these up, just so I've got some ready. Then I'm going to make some panels. Then I'm going to do a bit to him. And as I say, I am filming for the other video that's coming out later this week, which is basically the kind of things you can do with sprues, how I do things with sprues, and yeah, a recap of the whole of the last year of what I've learned and experienced by using sprues and what sprues and sprue goo can do to you. I don't know. Andre, have I changed the audio? Usually can't hear the background music. I changed the audio a good week and a bit ago because I was using the webcam audio, but now I'm using my mic, which is quite near my face. And it's probably because I've turned the music up maybe a little bit. I'm not too sure. As I'm saying, I'm basically getting it now, so everything is ready for me to just push a couple of buttons to live stream. So yeah, so if there's anything that does sound a bit off or not right, let me know so I can try and change it. So the only thing I'm going to be changing soon, or when I can, is say this camera right here, or there, that's my phone. And it's an old phone, and I say it's not the best of quality because the picture keeps sort of going dark, going light, even though I've got it on manual. So it shouldn't do anything. It should just stay as it is, but it doesn't. So I'm going to buy another webcam, like the one you're looking at my face on, just because that's a good quality one. It's about £65. But I mean, I've had the one you're looking at me on. I've had that for about 3-4 years. I've had it a long time. I've used it when I made animations a long time ago. So yeah, it's a really good one. Have I missed anyone? Johnny Cooper, morning. Ian Adams, morning to you too. Have I considered making some London terrain? No. Simple answer, no. Right. Cool. So the first thing I was going to do is I'm going to chop some of these up. Again, some of what I'm doing this morning, I am filming. Basically, I'm filming for 3 different things. I'm filming for the Monster Bash, filming for the Town Manta, and filming for this week's video. You know, I'm going to be doing like a combination of all kinds of stuff, really. So, yeah, so I am now actually, because I don't know if I kept telling people, I had like 2 huge boxes of sprues. Well, I am now down to just 1 huge box of sprues. Well, it's 1.5 because I kind of emptied the other box into this box. So yeah, so if you do have sprues, guys, and you don't, well, you're not going to use them, and you're happy to obviously pay for the postage and send them to me, then I will happily have them. I know in the last few days I've had about 7, 8 people message me, and they're going to send me their boxes of sprues, which is awesome. But yeah, the Manta is going to use a lot of sprues because obviously it's rather large. So yeah, if you've got these sprues and you're not going to use them, then yeah, I would love to have them basically. Yes, the other thing I'm also going to mention in the video that's going to come out this week is obviously cutters. I've had 3 pairs of cutters. The first one, I can't even remember who I got them from, but I think they lasted about a month or so, because obviously I cut a lot of sprues. The second pair I got were real cheap ones. I mean, they were kind of like this, but they had a spring at the back. Within about a week or so of me obviously cutting up a lot of sprues, the spring at the back broke and just went off. And these ones are Army Painter, although the name's rubbed off because obviously I've had it for quite a while. Yeah, Army Painter ones, and these have lasted me, I don't know, a good 6-7 months, which might not seem a lot compared to a lot of people, but obviously I cut up a lot of sprues. Plus, not only cut up the sprues, obviously when you're cutting the figures off, it's only a small little bit of plastic, the joint between this and the figure. Whereas obviously I'm cutting sprues, and they're obviously a lot bigger, a lot thicker. So yeah, so Army Painter cutters. I'm going to mention that these are, well, the best ones I've had because they've lasted so long. Cupcake Gummer, you're off. Okay, well, you have a good, well, night. Sleep well. And you leave it running. Ah, thank you so much. Love you lots. You take care. James, love the work I've been dabbling too. Used to laminate the sprue before I found the channel. Oh, okay. You'll save me hours of clipping and trimming. Still, like I say, your posty Friday staggered up the path with loads of boxes. Well, so it must be definitely quite funny to say, when the boxes have been turned up in the past, obviously if you shake them, it sounds like something's broken there, because obviously it's all rattling around and doing that. So he must think, oh, this guy's not going to be happy getting this, and it's all broke. Hold on, let's get one from the start. We'll have this one again. So just because I want to film bits, well, for this week's video, really. So I say I'm basically going to go through the process of making the sprue goo, what I do with it, what I can do with actual sprues as they are as well. Yeah, so guys, if you are into making things with sprues, I do have a lot of videos on my channel where I've made a shed load of things. From like huge big things like the Orc Stomper and the Battle Wagon and the TIE Fighter. So yeah, go check all of those out. Right, just do a sort of concentrate. So again, when I'm doing this, in my mind, I'm kind of roughly thinking of what I'm going to be saying when I'm like holding bits up and doing things. So this is my concentration face, guys. Right, that should be fine for that. Cool. yeah, so say this morning I'm going to kind of do a bit of all sorts, really. Well, it is funny. I was thinking, obviously, because I'm going to chop up loads and loads of sprues. I was thinking of making a video, a bit of a funny video, well, funny, boring video, and then calling it 2 hours of cutting up nibbly knobbly bits. So literally, I was going to film myself for 2 hours, going through these, cutting them up. So I wonder if anyone would, well, obviously when I do it, I would put some sort of like calm, relaxing music on the background. So it wouldn't be me talking, I wouldn't talk at all. It'd purely be the sound of me cutting up bits, and obviously some music in the background. But I just thought that might be comical. I don't know, if I put a video on and it is 2 hours of cutting up sprues to relaxing music, do you think anyone would watch it? Saying that, you could use it as a way of going to sleep. Because literally it'd be like, well, the kind of shot you've got there, maybe a bit closer. A close-up of my hands cutting sprues. That'd be quite cool. Was that Rice Hard Cameron? Kiora from New Zealand. I'm going to cut in black. A load of stuff made out of cardboard. Oh, cool. Those things you made. So what was it you've made then, Rice Hard? So yeah, 2 hours of cutting up nibbly knobbly bits. It'd be funny if I did do it and it's a video that went viral. It'd be like, what? Who's watching this? Nutters. But yeah, I seriously had considered doing that though. So I'll only cut this one up. I won't cut any more up. I say I'll do that off camera because yeah, this isn't going to be very exciting. Right, so that was obviously for the video bit, and we'll get these and put these back in the box. So yeah, guys, obviously when you send, if you are able to send sprues, I don't mind if the sprues are intact as they are, or if they're cut up like this, or even I've had some people send them in, and basically it's been a box full of like cut up bits. I'll have, obviously, if you cut them up first, you can put them in a smaller box, which might make it easier to post and cheaper to post. So by all means do that. Yeah, it doesn't bother me how the sprues come. The only sprues that I can't really use are, well, Gundam ones. I don't know how I got in there. Yeah, Gundam sprues I'm not using, only because I think these are made in a different type of plastic, because they do seem to have a bit of a shinier, sort of greasier feel to them. So I don't want to mix them in with these, just in case they don't dissolve as well. So yeah, no to them. The only sprues that I can't use are ones that have got paint on. Yeah, that's it really. If they've got paint on them, they don't. Well, they will dissolve, but obviously the paint gets into the mix as well, and it doesn't ruin them. It just doesn't make them as soft and clean and gooey as they are without the paint. So if you've got paint on them, don't send them in. But yeah, other than that, if they're in bits, send them in. If they're like this, send them in. If you want to go through and cut long lengths and bits, awesome. Yeah, do that. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of the panels that I need for the Manta. I say, just because I'm kind of thinking this week I'm going to make loads of panels, and next week when I live stream, I'm going to start to make the framework and the carcass for the centre bit. So anyone who has just sort of joined and hasn't sort of seen what I'm kind of doing, if I can grab the pictures. So obviously making the Tower Manta, it's this thing. Basically what it started off was someone put a comment on one of my channels, one of my videos, that a few people were buying these to build them. Why didn't I sort of have a go at making one and try and beat them into making one while they're building one? Went and had a look, because I'd never heard of it before. Went and had a look at what this thing is. I thought, oh, that looks like a lovely spaceship. Yeah, I'll make one. And that's when I did the comment saying if I get 300 likes on that comment I did on the community page, I'd build it. But after I put the comment up, I then went and had obviously a look to sort of get more pictures of it. It wasn't until I saw a picture of someone holding one of these, it was like, oh, that's a bit big. And I thought this might sort of fill my desk up, but I didn't realise it would, well, overfill my desk. So that's why, obviously, I've got lots of reference pictures that I've printed off. Obviously, I've got one to sort of kind of size. And in Photoshop, I've got the grid over it so I can get all the dimensions and bits and pieces. So that's why I'm going to build this, but I'm going to build it in 3 parts. Obviously, because I can only get 1 part on my desk at a time. So the first part I'm going to build is like the centre bit. So that's why I'm making all these frames up to make that. And again, I'm making this in a different way how I've made previous stuff, because how I've made previous stuff, I don't think the frame would be able to cope with it being picked up. I could probably make it on a desk and it would stay there, but if you went to try and pick up like by the wings, it would just buckle in the centre and crack and warp. And yeah, so that's why, again, that's why I like making different things, because it's making me make this completely different to how I've made things before. So I'm going to make it in sections, obviously. There's going to be lots of box shapes to make up the carcass of this. And the other difference with this is, obviously, if you've seen a lot of my previous builds, my bigger builds, they're mainly orc orientated, which means if the panels look a bit beaten up and disastrous and holy, then great, that's kind of how it's meant to look, because it's orcs. Whereas this is obviously a nice, sleek looking sort of spaceship. So once I do make all of this, I'm then going to go over it with Sprue goo, fill in all the little gaps. Basically, this, again, this stuff you can use as filler. It's awesome as a filler. And if you look at some of my videos, I've made things and then there's been like cracks or gaps. And I spread this, say this comes out really smooth. Spread it out over the gap, let it dry, and then you can give it a light sanding. Which is exactly what I'm going to do with this. So again, that's why this is one hell of a big project. Because it's going to take me a while to build the thing. Well, it's going to take me a while to build the parts to then make the thing. But then once it is all done, I'm going to go over the whole thing, fill in any gaps, get some sandpaper. Which has been supplied to me by the lovely Steve, who is in the comments. So Steve F, that's the guy who's sending me some sandpaper. So cheers to him. Although really, if you're going to send it to me, you're better off coming round, Steve, and you can help me sand this down. Yeah, so basically I'm going to give it a good sanding, so it is going to be sleek, smooth, and not have the orc look where it looks like it's been bashed about, shot up, and it's just aged about 10,000 years. So yeah, so this build is completely different to anything I've ever done. Obviously size-wise, and just generally how I'm gonna build it, basically. So there we go. Andre, me cutting sprues is at least entertaining as Bill sorting beads. I'll have to admit, when he was doing it, I popped on, had a little look, and thought, huh? Make a good time lapse of that, me doing 2 hours of cutting sprues. Yeah, you put it on in the background while you study. And a 2-hour sprue vid sounds great. Well, the thing is, if I do sit here and I'm cutting sprues up, I might. Well, yeah, because I'm not going to do it with the ones I've got, because I'll need these. Well, I'm not sure. But yeah, when I get the boxes of sprues from people, I might actually get them. I might do it just for the crack of it, because like I say. But as I say, if I do it, so yeah, if I did it and I put ASMR in it, I might get views for that. Obviously, me cutting the sprues makes a nice sort of cut sound. I don't know. But then yeah, having a bit of background music might do well. Steve, you don't have a car, you'd have to get the bus. Long since, yeah. Right, so what was I going to do? I was going to get something. Oh, no, just grease me paper. That's what I was going to get. Yeah. So I'm going to make some panels up. Again, so that's obviously the other thing. When I do the video that's coming out this week, I obviously talk about Sprue goo, how I use it, what it can be used for. I'm also going to mention that obviously the it's not the limitations, but the drawback of using the Sprue goo is when I build something, I like to get all the stuff ready, crack on, build it. When you use the Sprue goo, you have to make something and then leave it for however long till it dries, and then go back to it. Like this guy. Like I did his arm yesterday. So his arm is basically, obviously, one of these. I kind of like bent it round using the flame. Steve, you'd have been proud. It did burn a little bit. So I bent it round and then got the sprue goo and built it up. But again, you can only put so much on at once. Then you've got to leave it for a good few hours and then put some more on. Because obviously the sprue goo, it is like a very runny porridge. Or like plasticine that is, well, been heated up and just gooey. So if you put too much on at once, it'll just obviously sag down because gravity isn't its friend. It'll just put it to the floor. So you have to build it up in stages, which obviously slows the whole process down of you building something, which is, again, why when I am doing anything with sprues, as in a video, I've normally got several projects on the go. So I can do a bit of one, leave him to one side, go and work on something else, and then sort of flick back between the two, basically. So yeah, we're going to make a few more panels for the towel manta. So I can't wait till you start getting that centre bit boxed up and then start doing the details on top and big engines and everything else. See, the camera's still flicking in and out because I've turned my phone around, so I'm using the back lens on it because I thought the front lens might be the one that's causing the problems, but it's still flickering. So it annoys me, so it must annoy you guys. So yeah, I'm going to get a webcam as soon as I can, or a second webcam. Yeah, cool. Yeah, guys, if you haven't already, if you can give this stream a thumbs up, that would be most appreciated. So every little bit helps. Alright, so yeah, I don't need to film any of this because I think I filmed me making one of the panels, and obviously you make one panel, you see me make 100 panels. Right, let's have a quick check of a few things. Every now and then I'm going to keep checking as well to see if that dice tray is now available. Yeah, it's still saying sold out, but it's not sold out. Well, I wouldn't have thought it'd be sold out. I'll keep going back to that. Right, where's my lucky spoon? Well, I call it lucky spoon because obviously it's a spoon I keep separate to obviously my eating spoons. Because obviously this spoon gets dipped in acetone and ooey gooey stuff, and I wouldn't want to then eat my porridge. Not that I eat porridge, but you know what I mean. Dominic Moyle, hello. I'm from Levin. Oh, where's Levin? I've not heard of Levin. Where's Levin? Yeah. Right, so yeah, so obviously to do the panels, it is just a case of getting... Oh no, what am I doing? That's the old panels. I was going to put it on here and roll it out. It's like, no, that's the old panels donut. Right. Yeah, so with the panels that I'm doing, I've got two sort of sizes that I'm kind of doing. Obviously, this size panel and this size panel. And you'll see why, obviously, when I come to build the thing, obviously it's good to have the two different sort of heights. So yeah, so with the panels, it really is a case of obviously getting one of these. What I have to do, oh yeah, just thought, I've got to cut bits off, haven't I? There's me jumping the gun, getting the goo out. I have to wait a little while for the goo. Yeah, so to make the panels that I am now making, which is basically, is kind of like this. So again, the panels are great because obviously you can use them as bases for little dioramas or little bits and pieces. But this bottom bit is obviously what I'm making loads of to then glue together to make the carcass and the framework and all that for the Manta. So yeah, so it's a case of the first thing to do is obviously underneath these, there's loads and loads of, well, nibbly knobbly bits. So they all need cutting off because the plan is this needs to sort of lay flat on the greaseproof paper, and then we fill in all the bits with the goo. Then obviously you leave it for a day or two and it comes out, say it comes out nice and smooth. Obviously we have a little hole here Again, that would have been caused where the acetone would have built up in there. When the acetone evaporates, obviously it leaves a little space, and that's the space it leaves. But in general, it comes out reasonably smooth. Obviously not perfect, so if you painted this, you would see the grooves, which I used for the Necromanda terrain. In that case, it came out looking good, because obviously you want to see the grooves. But obviously when these panels go together for this ship, I want it to be like perfectly smooth. So that's what I was talking about, this all getting one hell of a sand in afterwards, just to make everything look nice and smooth and sort of like one part. So these are the kind of panels I'm making, and I say I'm going to need a load of panels. So yeah, so the first thing I need to do is cut off all the nibbly knobbly bits from the bottom. Steve, I posted a video of the Mini ready for full respray on your YouTube channel. Yeah, I couldn't get one of them on my desk. Description: Jazz hands. Random question: What do you eat for breakfast? I don't generally eat breakfast. Well, obviously the first meal of the day is going to be called breakfast, whether you eat it in the morning or in the afternoon. But yeah, I don't normally eat sort of first thing in the morning. It's like I've not had anything to eat yet. I generally don't get hungry or want anything to eat till about 11. And then I'm more your grazer. Rather than sitting down and having like sort of free, sort of typical meals, I prefer to sort of graze through the day and have like smaller bits, but more often. Obviously, the only problem with that is sometimes these smaller bits are healthy bits. As in, it might be like a biscuit or something. Well, saying that, I have eaten this morning. Yeah, I had a banana just before I started. But I had a banana just before I started because, say, yesterday when I was doing a live stream, come back 11, I get hungry. So if I have a banana, that might keep me going past 11. Because these morning streams I'm doing, I'm typically going to be doing them. So every morning I'm going to try and stream sort of 9 till 12. So I just need to change something on here because I don't have flight mode. Yeah, every morning I am going to try it where possible. So I can't tomorrow. But I'm going to try and live stream between 9 and 12. Generally because that's when I'm normally always sitting at my desk doing something. So, yeah. So every morning, 9 till 12, I will possibly be streaming. I've forgotten what I was talking about now. Kind of just wobbled on there, didn't I, really? Subscribe. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. Yeah, we're good. How are you? Juicy Juice. Nice name. Hope you're all well. Steve is drinking out of one of my cups that says nibbly knobbly bits. Awesome. Yes, I haven't got one. I should get one. I haven't got one. Obviously, I like drinking out of the cup my daughter bought me. The old, she loves pugs. So, I'm sexy and I know it. Good old pug in his Speedos. Rice Hard eats breakfast about 2 PM most days, but now it's time for steak. Steak, man. Subscribe is a MH member. Awesome. Cheers, buddy. I need to start doing stuff for that because I think the only thing that's really in there is the stickers at the moment, isn't it? I kind of set up the member, but then didn't. Yeah, I need to go through that, guys. So apologies that if you are becoming a member, I haven't put a lot in there at the moment. I need to start putting stuff in there. Just to obviously thank you for being one, really. So yes, again, a lot of things that I've built with Sprues or Sprue goo, there is a lot of preparation that goes kind of into it. So like I was saying the other day, obviously the videos you watch where I build something, obviously it's like a 15-minute video. But the reality is, especially like the Orc Stomper, the reality is it's about 30 to 40 hours of me building it. There's probably another 4 or 5 days in between that 40 hours where I've had to wait for Sprue goo to turn into goo or to go back hard to being plastic. Then about 4 or 5 hours of editing, all for a 15-minute video. But I don't do this to make the videos. I make videos because I'm doing this. Does that make sense? I make things. I like making things, is what I'm trying to say. I like making things, so then I video myself making the things, as opposed to making a channel and then having to make things for the channel. Nah, I'm confusing myself. I'm just waffling now, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Subscribe to turning sprues into brick walls and ammo crates. Awesome. So that's the great thing with sprues. I mean, as much as I like using them now to build big things. Obviously, if you look at some of my videos, some of my older ones, I had like top 10 videos of top 10 uses of things to make with sprues. And there's loads there that are just smaller little things that you can do quite quickly. Like say, as in like taking one of these, you can cut up small little bits, use them as bricks. The other thing I've done is get a blade. If you shave it down, you can make this kind of like round, but it's almost like a round sort of rough look, and it looks like it's bits of trees. So then you stick them all together, and you can make like a raft or a wooden fence or all kinds of things. Oh, there's something I'm going to be filming in a minute. Actually, it just reminded me that I need to film for that and for the video coming out this week. In fact, you can turn these into wire. Again, this is a video that I would have done ages ago, but a lot of people might not have seen it recently, or yeah, might not have seen it. But yeah, you can make these into wire, which is really cool. Andre, you're happy with these streams? Give you something to watch while being homesick. Oh, bless. Well, I wish you a speedy recovery. Obviously, it's no fun being sick. But obviously, the good thing is, you get to watch this, and that's good for me and for you, I guess. Yeah, right side. Video editing is time consuming. I made a few things I made, but making things is more fun than making the videos. Yeah, so I must admit, my editing, plus my editing is quite simple. Obviously, you watch people like Studson Studios or Bill making things. They spend probably at least 2-3 times editing videos or longer than I do, because I literally get the footage, put it all together, cut out bits, tidy it up basically, and then go over it and do like a voiceover bit. But obviously, let's say Studson Studios and Bill making things, they add a lot more humour into theirs, and obviously like little pictures sort of fly in, or little animations, or other little bits happen. And again, that takes a lot longer to do, to source all those images and animations, and then to put them in. And so yeah, so I mean, I edit my videos, but I edit them in probably the shortest way you can, which is getting the clips, cutting the ends off, making them neat, going through, making sure the timeline is correct. Because sometimes I film things out of sequence, so you put it in the right order, and then go through again and do the voiceover. So I keep mine quite simple. But yeah, everything takes time. Description, yeah, those top 10s is how you found my channel. I think they are, because they are all in my sort of top videos, as in top viewed. Because I think the number one is, what's the number one? I think like 600,000 views, I think. But yeah, I'm sure in my top 10 videos, most of them are Sprue. I'm going to have a little look actually. Let's have a look. Most popular. So yeah, so the top 2 is Turn Warhammer 40k Sprues into Volume 2, 689,000 views. The second one is Volume 1. Oh, then recasting non-Warhammer figures. And the reason I made that one and classed it as non-Warhammer is because my first video that came out when I first started this channel was recasting Warhammer 40k figures. And within about 2 days of the video coming out, I got an email from Games Workshop, their lawyers, asking me to obviously cease and desist and take it off and not do it again. So that's why the next video I made, I purposely obviously put the title as recasting non-Warhammer figures. So yeah, basically, yeah, the third video is Sprues, fourth Sprues. The fifth one is me burning some. Yeah, the fifth one is me. But I made a few videos recasting Warhammer parts and figures, and the fifth one is where I actually burned the figures at the end, just to say I'm not making these for profit or any kind. And to prove that, I burnt the figures and I cut up all the molds. And somehow that's then at number 5. Yeah, 6 is the turn Sprues into the Great Unclean one. So yeah, the Sprue videos are the top ones, which is obviously why most of the people who are here for Sprues. Not surprising, really, I guess. But yeah, right, what am I doing? Let's go there. Alright, so I was cutting off nibbly knobbly bits. Yeah, so again, so this, the making of the Manta, I'm not sure whether to do it in a couple of videos or one video, because there's going to be a lot of footage to go into it. So I might do one video of me making the centre carcass bit. Might be another video of me making the 2 wings, and there might be a third one where it all comes together, and then I paint it. And then I might then do a compilation of one long video with it all in. Just because I think if I do one video from the start, well, obviously you won't see it for quite a while. And the chances are it could be at least sort of half hour or more. So I like videos that are between 8 and 15 minutes. So I basically make videos of a kind of a length that I would want to watch. Which is why I say 8 to 15 minutes is good. I always find longer than that. It's like even my favourite YouTubers that I watch, if their video is longer than 15 minutes, I say their video is like 20, 25 minutes, I generally start watching it and then I fast forward just to get to, well, not necessarily the end, but just sort of like skip bits. So yes, that's why I say I like videos at 8 to 15 minutes, and that's the kind of length I put. But I'm kind of thinking that Manta, because of the size and the amount of work that's going to go into it, I reckon that's going to be more like the half hour or more. So yes, I might do that as a few videos, and then one as a compilation. Right, I think that's pretty much. I mean, it hasn't got to be perfect to say, because at the end everything's gonna get sanded down, but it just makes it easier, this bit, if that is as flush as it can be. Right, so I have to tidy up as I go along, because I don't like working in mess. I mean, I appreciate some of the things I make a mess, but I do like to sort of tidy up. Oh, pardon me. As I go, really. Description, yeah, GW are really picky when it comes to anything like that. But I say it's only because I was that new and naive to like Warhammer and everything else, because I'd never played Warhammer. I'd never even been on any forums for Warhammer. I'd done nothing with Warhammer. The only reason I kind of got into it was because I went on Amazon because I wanted to buy some orcs to make a diorama with. Because obviously at that time in my head I'm thinking the orcs with a C, and that's what I was looking for. And it was happened that the Warhammer orcs came up on Amazon. And that's kind of how I got into the whole building and making stuff that's kind of like Warhammer related. So yeah, so when I made that casting video, obviously I thought nothing of it. Probably because prior to that I had been casting Mega Construct figure parts, because I'd been sort of making animations and things with those. So that's why when I did the Warhammer one, I thought nothing of it. And it's really weird, because obviously I made the video, posted it on a few sites, and obviously that video did really, really well, and I was really, really surprised. But it's because I kind of picked a topic that is, it's like Marmite. You get lots of people go, yeah, do recasting, because obviously it's so expensive to buy GW stuff that you have to recast. But then you get a lot of the Puritans that are like, no, you can't recast. That's obviously against the law, not done, and you can't use those kind of figures in tournaments. So yes, that's why that video went really, really well. And they say literally within about 2 days, I got an email from say one of the. I don't know he was an actual lawyer, but he was from that department that dealt with, well, IP and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, it was a polite letter though. I must admit, it was a polite letter. They weren't saying they were gonna like do anything to me, lock me up, take my channel down. It was just a polite letter saying that what I was doing was wrong. A full spiel about why it was wrong, and then just the take it down, don't do it anymore. But hey ho. Right side, I'm the opposite. I work on a top of a heap. Yeah, so I can't. I'm very much. I like to be organised and neat and tidy and things in their place. So that's why I love these workstations by Arty Station. Just being able to have places for everything to go is just is what I like. Dave Dodge or Doggy, not too sure. Are you a sprue melting hobbyist? You ever get coughs with plastic glue fumes? No, so that's again the video that's coming out this Friday. I'm going to talk about a lot of the sort of questions that come up a lot. One of them obviously is, when I'm using this, does my room stink of acetone? And the answer is no. I mean, if I take the lid off, I can smell it. I mean, even like arm's length, I can't smell it. So literally, even when I get the goop out like this doesn't smell. Doesn't smell of anything. Literally, the acetone, as soon as the air hits it, it starts evaporating, and it evaporates really quick. So yeah, there is no smell in it. I mean, admittedly, I've got 3 windows. I've got one in front, one literally just behind my screen there, and I've got a window behind. I always have the windows open, mainly because of the glues. I say the super glue, not so bad. This glue doesn't really have a big smell. The glue that I can't, this is why I have the windows open. This stuff, cement glue. Using this stuff has got a real strong smell, and this stuff stays in the air. So it's because of this glue that I have all 3 of my windows, well, not fully open, but open enough that air's coming through and round. Which is why yesterday I was wearing my fleece. I was cold yesterday. I mean, it's still cold today, but not as bad. But yeah, so again, the video that comes out Friday, I'm going to mention that this stuff doesn't linger in the air. It doesn't smell. When you take the lid off and it's near you, yeah, you'll be able to smell it. But literally, I take the lid off, get the goop out, put the lid back on. The goop that is here, it really doesn't smell for long. I say honestly, the acetone evaporates so quick. Whereas this stuff, oh man, because I built an Orc Wizard tower, and basically I got the sprues, I cut them up into like 5mm lengths. I actually put them in a coffee grinder because it then roughed them up and smoothed them up and made them pretty cool. And then I made an Orc Wizard tower out of these little bricks. And basically I glued each brick individually around something to make the tower. And I probably used, I don't know, 300, 500 bricks. And obviously I was using this to obviously glue them all. And I felt high and headache and all sorts after that. Yeah, so this I find a whole lot worse than acetone. But again, I'm going to mention that and talk about that in the video. So yeah, any questions you guys come up with, by all means ask, because I may... So I've got a list of like the general questions that do get asked quite a lot. So I'm going to obviously answer them in the video that I do as a roundup on sprues. But yeah, if you've got any other questions, by all means, if they are things that I think are pretty good and relevant that people would want to know, then I'll include those in my video. Do I get coughs with it? No. Again, I think it's only when I melt the sprues with a lighter. And obviously, I get told off quite a lot because obviously then when you melt plastic with a lighter, some people say it gives off cyanide. I don't know. I don't know what it gives off, but that has a strong smell. But again, not for very long. But yeah, I say definitely the glue is what I find the worst. Subscribe. Have I ever tried making shields from sprues? Like a Viking round shield? Blimey. Yeah, right side, a life-size one. No, I've not made shield from sprues. No. I think a lot of the things that I make are kind of like terrain, vehicles, buildings, that sort of stuff, really. Dave Dodge, which video was it that you were asked to take down? Well, obviously it's one I have taken down, and again, it was one that I made. Oh yeah, because the one that I've left up, the one that I burnt the figures, obviously that's a 2-part mould where I actually cast a figure. The one that got taken down, basically it was terrain pieces. Again, I bought a box set, and I can't remember what it was. It was like some sort of vehicle, so it had lots of like panels and bits and pieces. And I thought, well, like, these panels are awesome. I want to make dioramas and have these panels all over the place. So I made the mould of panels, cast them in like resin. Yes, it was that video that actually got taken down. Which is why you'll see the video that I have left up where I burned the things. Throughout the video, I keep putting disclaimer: don't do this. This isn't right. I'm not doing it for financial gain, blah, blah, blah. And then I say at the end of the video, I burn the figures and I cut the molds up. Yeah. Mana Rega, what did I miss? Everything. Absolutely everything. It's party time. Yeah, I had dancers come on, there's balloons, there's an elephant came through. So much you've missed, but I can't do it again. No, you haven't missed much. I've been cutting up nibbly knobbly bits and, well, just going through a few things that I'm doing, really. So, yeah, so at the moment I am making panels for the towel Manta. And again, I'm making these panels. I'll get one of the panels that I normally make. Right, so the panels that I normally make, whenever I make things, like the Orc Stomper. The Orc Stomper is made up of a framework of obviously sprues, and then I cover it in a sprue panel. So these are nice and thin, fairly smooth. I mean, there's a few sort of indentations and cracks, but generally it's quite smooth. The other side, obviously, perhaps not so much. So yeah, generally that's how I used to make things. Like the Sprue burger. This here Sprue burger is made by a framework inside, covered in this, and then covered in sprue goo to make Sprue burger. Same with the Orc Stomper, which is all the way over there. I'm not going to go and get him. The Orc Stomper was made the same way, but with the towel Manta, making it that way, because it is so big, it would just be flimsy. When you come to pick it up by the wings, it would just buckle in the middle or bend or bow or break. So that's why the panels that I'm making aren't like this. I'm making panels like this. Obviously, that's the better side. And obviously, as you can see, it's a lot thicker because obviously, say these are about 1 mil thick. But that's how I make them because obviously they dry quicker and it's like a skin, just needs to go round whatever it is I'm making. Whereas these are, well, I don't know, about 4 mil, maybe 5 mil almost. So a lot thicker. Because it is made from like that, it's already got a nice sort of framework inside the panel. So again, that makes the panel a lot stronger, a lot sturdier. So for the towel Manta I'm making loads of these panels, and then obviously when I've got loads, they'll be like glued together like that. They'll have another obviously panel there. So it's going to have lots of boxes, and then when I made one of them, then that then get glued to another one, another one, another one, to build up the whole carcass. And then on top, I can then, so any like gaps, like obviously there's a bit of a pothole there. They can get filled with the goo, because the goo is a great filler. So they'll get filled in, and then eventually the whole thing will get sanded. So that's why I need to make loads of these before I can even really start doing any kind of assembly. So as I keep saying, that is the downside to make things with sprues. There's a lot of prep work that goes into it, and it does slow the whole thing down. If I was to make this out of obviously anything else, say I was to use like balsa wood for the framework, and then plastic card or something for it, I could probably make it in like 3 days, 4 days. Obviously that's like a lot of hours in each day. Whereas making this Manta out of sprues, that's why this job's going to be at least 3-4 weeks. Because there's a lot of time in between waiting for things to dry. And making them, like say, cut off the nibbly knobbly bits, putting the stuff in, then leaving it to dry, then doing the next one. So yeah, you missed the party. It was awesome. Yeah, absolutely awesome. So yeah, Dave, I'm making panels from GW projects for my own personal use. Although the upside is this Manta I'm making it's got to be 100% GW legal because it's made from their parts, surely. But who knows? Anyway. I'm going to put this back because so this is all nice and dry, and it's a bit of ASMR there for you. Well, I've only got one speaker, so it won't be dual whatever. But say because the stuff in it has dried, but I have noticed obviously it's like there, it's starting to curl up a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving these under a big pile of books just to fully cure out and obviously hopefully stay nice and flat. Obviously when I build these in like a box shape, again that'll help them keep their shape because it'll all be fully glued together and then any little gaps filled in. So say this towel thing I'm making, this Manta, I'm making sure it's going to be strong and sturdy, so you can pick it up whichever way you want. You can pick it up. Obviously, this is going to make it a lot heavier, but from what I've seen of the real one, the other one, some of the parts are cast quite thick, so it is quite a weight. But obviously, it needs to be to have strength and rigidity. Rigidity. Right. What is going on? Right, this is where I wish I had some biscuits. I'm starting to feel the munchies coming on. So it's always around 11 o'clock. Well, it's only half 10, isn't it? Yeah, I start to get the munchies. So yeah, so these panels, I am going to need a shed load. So that's why this week I'm kind of making loads of panels, and then my plan is to come next week. So I'm going to stream today. Obviously, stream on Friday. I might stream tomorrow, but probably in the evening if I do. So yeah, next week when I stream, I should have enough of these to start building the carcass of that centre part of the Manta. Right, let's do a Michael Jackson and get one glove on. Have I missed someone coming on? EJ95, glad I got to catch another stream. Good to have you here. Jota BDN, good to have you here too. Good morning to you. Right, so yeah, it's just a case of getting the old goop and plopping it on. Again, this is what I'm going to go through in the video that comes out on Friday about this sort of stuff. When you first get the goop out, or sprue goo, it is very sticky. So even with the gloves, if I touch it now, it will just stick to these like something rotten. Obviously, as soon as the acetone evaporates, it dries off, it just peels off, which is fine. But generally, I find if I leave that for like, I don't know, a minute or two, I'll find it easier to sort of, because basically I'm going to move it around so it fills in all the little gaps, basically. Oh, my nose. Yeah, I've still got a bit of a cold, and well, I call it a cold. It's just my nose. It's just been runny and blocked for a while. Right, let's have another little drink. Yeah, so guys, I hope you're all well. What are you all up to? Manta is on the way back from the school run. Are you as cheeky and nipped into Tesco's? Got some muffins. Oh man, yeah, I could eat some muffins. I could eat anything really, to be honest now. Well, apart from things like broccoli, I can't eat broccoli or any like the green healthy vegetable stuff. Can't eat any of that. But yeah, can certainly eat some muffins. You don't live in southern Hampshire, do you, by any chance? And pop round and drop off some muffins. But yeah, I could do with something to eat. So yeah, so you give it a little bit. I mean, it still might be sticky a little bit, and then it is just a case of, well, pushing it around basically. And so this just makes a much, obviously, firmer, stronger panel. So I've never made panels like this before, up until, was it a few weeks ago, or a week ago, when I did this, and I used it like a base. And then that's when I then used it for the Necromunda modular terrain, just because this is a great way of making sort of bases that are sort of relatively thick and strong, and can be used as a base, or in my case as a panel to build things basically. So yeah, just sort of like say squish it all around. And the other good thing is this kind of makes, you can almost have like two different kind of bases, because when you push it around, the underneath is going to be nice and smooth, because obviously it's going to go on a greaseproof paper, but the top, as you'll be able to see, when the acetone starts to evaporate with this stuff, if I didn't touch it and just left it, then it would be quite smooth. But when the acetone starts to evaporate and you sort of move it around, it almost forms like a skin on top, And then as you move it, it then becomes like a wrinkly skin, which kind of gives it a real cool texture. It's kind of what I've done on this one. So like I purposely sort of kept moving it around, and like there, a nice sort of like skin sort of texture. So for Nurgle sort of bases or weird creatures like this thing, it works really well. But then obviously, like the Necromunda modular terrain, when you turn it the other way around, the underneath is going to be still sort of nice and smooth looking. So yeah, it's almost like two bases for one. So it's definitely a longer process to make the panels this way, rather than just getting a sprue goo, chucking it on a greaseproof paper, rolling it out. Obviously, much simpler. But I say, I just wouldn't be able to make something so big like the Manta in that kind of way. Dorset. That's not a million miles away from where I am. Only about an hour. You're telling me you're not going to drive an hour to drop some muffins through my door? Man. I thought you guys loved me. I reckon you could make a land raider out of sprues for a future video. Possibly. I mean, I do generally think I could make almost anything out of sprues. Let's say, other than making like a little miniature, I could, yeah. Anything that's of a decent size, yeah, I can't see why I wouldn't be able to really make it out of sprues. Because they do seem pretty versatile. So other than you guys sort of sitting there eating muffins, what are you guys up to? I'd like to know, because obviously you know what I'm up to, because obviously you can see what I'm up to. But yeah, what are you guys up to? I'd like to know. And don't everyone say you're eating. Jenna, is it not better to use a baking paper with a kitchen roller? That's how I normally make the panels. Sorry, were you not here a second ago? That's how I normally make panels, but they're thin. This makes thicker panels. They've got a framework inside them, so much stronger, much sturdier. You see me in the other videos, but yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. That's how I normally make panels, is with a kitchen roller, but they're like wafer thin. If I made something that's like, I don't know, this thing's about 2.5, 3 foot. Yeah, yes, it's about 3 foot in sort of like length. If I made something using those panels that's 3 foot in length, they would just buckle, bend, break. I wouldn't be able to make it sturdy enough, strong enough. And that's why I'm making panels in a different way, basically. Again, that's why I like the fact of doing this build now, because it is making me do things a bit differently. And I like to sort of see what I can do with sprues, really. Huh. Right. A few more little dollops. Andre, the Netherlands aren't that far over. You won't come over for dinner. Have you invited me over for dinner? You invite me over for dinner, I'll be there. Can't say when, but one day I might just turn up out of the blue, and I'll be like, well, you invited me. Funnily enough, I kind of did that once. I used to work at Fort Park as a photographer. And there's a guy there that came from Australia, and he sort of said, "Oh, look, if you ever come over, come and stay with us." So I did. I went over. I think I spent about 3 months with him actually. Yeah, they were pre-kid days when I used to do a lot of travelling. Well, so this is the problem. I'm putting it on. And I'm touching it straight away. I shouldn't touch it straight away. Mana is decluttering the wardrobe. Nice. But that's lots of fun. So I need to go through my wardrobe as well, actually. More because my wardrobe's falling apart. Because I got one of these it's not like the wooden sort of kind of wardrobe. Mine's more the pole frame, and then like the sheet over it. But it's kind of like a bit wibbly wobbly. Jodo is from Spain, Barcelona, and your English is bad. It's not bad at all. My Spanish would be horrendous because I don't know any. EJ95 is chilling right now. Got off from work early. The other day I was able to get some sprues from the Warhammer Citadel. This makes me wonder if you've been to Warhammer World. I haven't been to Warhammer World. I've not. In fact, I need to go because I've got, for Christmas, one of my friends bought me a Warhammer voucher. Which I haven't used. So no, I've never been to any Warhammer sort of places. Well, I say that. I may have been back in 1983, 84, when I used to play D&D. There was a Warhammer shop in Kingston. London, that is, not the other kind of Kingston. Yes, I may have gone in there back in 1983, so I may have been into one of their shops. Andre, you did invite me. He said, oh, yes. Yeah, it wasn't at a stage whenever I came on, you were always cooking. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, every time you were cooking and making something, it's like, what? What's going on here? I'm hungry. Right, so there's one panel. And again, I'm going to be making like about 20 or so of these. Again, that's another reason why this is going to be quite a slow process to even before I can make something, making these panels. But again, I always sort of say is, I don't make things and then want to get to the end. The whole thing about this hobby is the making things. Obviously, having the thing at the end is great. Because obviously the accomplishment of making something. But yeah, obviously the main thing for this hobby is the making, the doing. So even though this is kind of like a bit of a laborious, repetitive sort of task, obviously it needs to be done for starters, because I know if I don't do this then I can't make it, so it has to be done. But again, sometimes when you make something and it is kind of like hard work, boring, repetitive, it makes it even more rewarding when you've made the thing, because like you know how much has gone into it. Again, this is why I say you guys watch my videos and they're like 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, I take sprues and I make something. But obviously for me, it's very rewarding because I've actually spent, say, 30 hours making something to get to that end result that you get to see in 5 minutes. So yeah, so it really is, it's the journey and not the ending, which is why obviously I really enjoy doing this. Especially say when I haven't got a lot of room to actually put things. And like I said the other day, when I make this Manta, the chances are I'm going to see if I can sell it because I've got no room for it. I'm in a 1-bedroom flat and I've already got tons of stuff. So yeah, I've got no room to store this. So this could well be going straight on eBay. What kind of gloves am I using? Black ones. No, so I can't help but be cheeky sometimes. These are, what's the word? Nitrile? Yeah. I say that the goo, it does stick to these, but it peels off nicely. I think there are other gloves that I used to use, and I'm sure acetone used to just eat them. Whereas the acetone doesn't seem to eat these. I mean, I'm sure if I stuck my finger in there, left it in there long enough, it might. I don't know. I'm not going to try. But getting the goo on these, it doesn't seem to eat these. But yeah, these are nitrile. I say nitrile or nitril. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the ones I'm using. Yeah. Cool. Gluing, not flying. Your Space Marines side of your Warhammer Conquest collection. Cool. Yeah, nice. Oh, Mr. Thumbs Down Man is here. Awesome. But say, the good thing is, YouTube doesn't care about thumbs down. It still sees that as an interaction. So, Mr. Thumbs Down Man, thanks for being here. Much appreciated. Right, so this I then put to one side. and then we can come back and we can do another one. But I think what I might do, let's say, because I'm going to be sort of doing this, maybe doing a bit of the Monster Bash thing, but I'm also going to be filming, let's say, a few bits for my video that's coming out Friday. So obviously I need to film bits for there to be a video on Friday. And so yeah, the video that's coming out Friday, just for anyone who's new that wasn't here, only one when I mentioned. Basically, obviously, in the last year and a bit, I've obviously done a lot of stuff with Sprues and Sprue. And I know I've had a lot of recent subscribers in the last 2 weeks. And from the analytics, obviously, I always look at the analytics because it shows what videos are doing well, where subscribers are, ages, regions, all that kind of stuff. And one of them obviously shows me where a lot of my recent subscribers are coming from, or like what video. And obviously most of the videos they're coming from are Sprue based videos. So obviously there's a lot of questions that are coming up on like some of my older videos where if someone's like watched the video, one of the questions they've asked is, how do I get the Sprue goo? Because obviously in the video they watched, I wouldn't have done that process. Because not every video I go through how I make the Sprue goo. Because obviously it's a simple thing to make. And there's lots of videos where I do show. So that's why the video coming out Friday is going to be a whole sort of recap collection of me talking about how I make stuff, how I've made some of the things that I've already made, the fact, obviously, how you make the Sprue goo, how long the goo can last in here, the fact that I can use, or I've made some moulds up, some silicone rubber moulds. The Sprue goo doesn't seem to deteriorate in any way, these moulds, which is awesome. And the fact, obviously, you can do simple moulds. So this is a mould I made of a wheel for the Orc truck that I've made. So I'm going to do some filming of me making another wheel. So the video coming out Friday is going to be a collection of all kinds of things, and I'm going to answer a lot of questions about Sprue goo and just Sprues in general, and the fact that most of my things that I build are basically built by making a frame first, then covering them in that thin panel, and then using the Sprue goo over the top. So again, even like this figure that I'm making at the moment for the old Monster Bash, even though it's not big, there's still a framework inside this dude. Because otherwise, if you try and make something this thick out of Sprue goo, say for one, it would just never keep its shape. It is soft and gooey, which is obviously why I call it Sprue goo. And gravity isn't its friend unless you want it to be. As in, if I put bits on here, and I want them to just like to sag down, like it's skin sagging down, then awesome. Put a bit of Sprue goo on there and leave it, and yeah, gravity will sort of start pulling it down. So it'll look cool. So that's why I say even he has a framework, and even when I do like the arms and the legs, there's a frame in there, just because of the Sprue goo won't keep its shape long enough to dry. So yeah, I've lost the train of thought where I'm going really, but yeah, so that's why the video coming out Friday is going to be question and answers, me showing how to do other little bits, making like the panels, making the corrugated card panel, the fact that you can use green stuff rollers on it. And yeah, I'm going to go through some of my favourite builds. Say this is my all-time favourite build, not just with Sprues, but just anything I've done on this channel. This is my favourite thing I've done. And again, inside this there's a frame. Obviously not like a box, but a circle, well, circle box frame. And then so that's hollow. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about that as well. So so it's going to be kind of all sorts. The video coming out on Friday. Yeah, so that's what I was going to make now. Is again, I'm going to basically go through some of the basic things that I make with Sprues that help me in all the other things I make. And one of the things you can make with Sprues, really easy, is wire. Bosh. And the reason I'm making that is obviously for this build, these things on the floor are candles, or will be. So that's obviously the candle sort of stick. I need to make the little wick that comes out of it, and then obviously the little flamey bit on top. So the wick, again, this thing's going to be completely made of Sprues. So even the wick is going to be obviously really small and thin, but it's made from Sprues. And it's basically it's like Sprues that you turn into a wire. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Right, so I'll take these off. Basically, it's any excuse for me to get the flame out. So just checking a few things. Go there. Right, yeah, I am definitely getting hungry now. I might need to make a little midstream sandwich. What's the time? 10:42. Yeah, I got the munchies, man. Mitchell Woods, or Wads even, good morning from Canada. Good morning. God, you must be, what, about 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning? Obviously, maybe even earlier, depending on what part of Canada you're from. What part of Canada are you from? Andre, would filling a silicone mould with Sculpey and baking it by viable? Oh, pardon me. You would have to get, because you can get it, you can get silicone rubber that you put in the oven. I bought some actually to do a video with and then never got round to doing said video. So yeah, there is silicone rubber you can get that can go in the oven. So yeah, you'd need to get that. Yeah, making the Ghiblis, yeah. Because basically, if it was like relatively flat things, so you can like obviously pop them out nice and easy. But yeah, can't see. Ottawa, Ontario. I've been there many moons ago. 5:30. Oh, there you go. Yeah, got cousins out in Canada. I used to go out there every year when I was little. But obviously that was quite some time ago because I'm not little anymore. Well, not in age anyway. Yeah. EJ95, since one of my sprues has an extra Tempest Prime Commissioner coat, I want to make a coat rack. Fair enough. Time to put a kettle on. Yeah, I don't know the kettle, so I've got a cold drink, but I definitely need a sandwich. Rather be like a turkey sandwich, or maybe what else? Brain's gone dead again. Peanut butter. I do like peanut butter. Might have a peanut butter sandwich. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm working on the candles for basically this is the Monster Bash thing by Trent Miscast. If you've not seen any of his work or don't know who he is, go and check out Miscast. So MISCAST, Miscast. Lovely guy called Trent. Fantastic model maker. He does fantastic stuff. And he's doing this Monster Bash thing where you generate monster pictures and then you try and make something. And the pictures that I randomly chose. So these are the pictures that I randomly chose. So basically on the screen you push a button, it goes through loads of pictures. I think there's like a couple of hundred pictures on there. You push a button to stop it, and then you do that 7 times. So I videoed myself doing it, and then took like screen captures of each one, and then obviously printed it out. These are the images that I've got, and then from that I've made this little monstrosity. It's coming out for Halloween, so the end of the month the video is coming out, and basically he's kind of like set it as a challenge, well, not really a challenge, but a sort of group hobby thingy for everyone to have a go at making something, and this is what I've made so far. So yeah, what I'm basically going to do now is I'm making the wick for the candles, and again this is going to come out in a video on Friday, as well as obviously this video, just to show the kind of things you can do with sprues. So we'll get a few of these. Again, there's lots of my videos where I show lots of different sort of things. Some of my videos show obviously big builds, some of them show smaller builds, and like this, that you can make a whole variety of things with the sprues. So you don't have to like melt them to make stuff. Well, I am still going to melt them. But like, this is dissolving apparently. This isn't melting. You're dissolving sprues here. This is the melting. Yeah, so I'm just going to make some wire from sprues, basically. And again, there's quite a few videos that I've made where I've made wire and bits and pieces, or used wire in things. I think the Orc tank that I made, or battle wagon, I think I've got some wire bits on there, just like antennas. Just because I wanted to make that build 100% sprue, so even like the wire and antennas I made from these. So basically, you want to try and get one that's not got too many nibbly knobbly bits on it, really. And these all have locks. Let's have a quick look. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of difference. That one's quite a good one. Let's get a couple out in case I make... Well, that was a perfect one, that one. In case I make a mistake. So obviously when you use a flame, sometimes things catch fire. So don't try this at home, guys. Well, unless you want to. So that's a good thing. Obviously, going through my analytics, there's no one in the age group 13 to 17 that watches my videos. It generally seems to be the 24 upwards watch it. And I think there's one video recently, and according to the analytics, no women watched it. It was all men. I don't know how true that is, because it does seem... I mean, normally it is something like 98% watch my channel are men, and say 2% are ladies. Well, I say that these days it'd probably be more like 50% are men, 2% ladies, and there's what 48% that are just toasters. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But yeah, what a strange world we live in now. Anyway, let's get back to this. I just need to check. Am I still? Because I did that before. I moved stuff around. I hit my keyboard and I stopped streaming. But I didn't realise that. I was carrying on walking. And I've just noticed there wasn't much chat going on. So I just had to quickly look to see if I am still streaming. Because that was just so funny. So I was chatting away. And there was just no chat. Only for like a couple of minutes. I was like, why is no one chatting? And then I've looked and it's over there. It said stream ended. It's like, what? If you get one with bits on it, can you make it barbed wire? No, but I have made barbed wire. Because basically what happens here is I'm going to light flame, hold this over it, and then as it starts to melt, you slowly put it apart, and obviously that stretches it, which makes a nice long thin bit. What you can do then is if you grab something that I've not got, but say you've got like a thick marker pen. Imagine that's a thick marker pen. When you first pull it, obviously it's still relatively, it's not hot, it's not even really warm, it's kind of like tepid, but you can wrap it around something. So when you wrap it around, leave it around, say if this was a big nice thick marker pen, leave it around there for a bit, literally like 5 minutes. You'll then be able to pull it off and it will keep that round shape. And then if you've got some more bits of wire, this is where obviously it'll take quite a lot of time, you can glue bits on. But if you didn't want the actual barbed bits on the wire, that would still be like a nice wrapped circular wire kind of thing. Which video was it? I'll check it out. Oh, what are we talking about? I got a memory like a sieve, so I can't remember what I mentioned, Manta, that you would ask. Your best bet, I've got a playlist to do with Sprues. Watch them all. Best thing you can do. Even if you're not watching them, go to the playlist, click, obviously start on a playlist. It'll just run through. You can go off, do your bits, go to work, come home, watch a bit more, go to bed, wake up. Yeah, just watch the playlist, guys, because again, that helps my channel out no end. But yeah, I really can't remember what video, because I've done a lot of videos on Sprues. Whether they're like big builds or smaller little how-to, what you can do with Sprues. Yeah, there's loads out there. Right, let's get my little camera up. I need to almost make, like, when I do these things, I think I might make myself a little packed lunch, just so beside me I have sort of snacks, knickknacks, and yeah, things to eat basically. Radio. Oh, let's have a quick look, see if the dice thingy is now available. Still say it's sold out. It's not sold out. Most bizarre. Yeah, so again, I'm filming bits for, say, this morning, I'm kind of doing bits of all sorts, really. All Sprue related. Just because obviously I've got 2 main builds on the go, and I'm filming stuff for a video coming out, obviously, Friday. again, let's go through in my head what it is I'm kind of going to be saying. And make sure I've got everything to hand. So I've got that, got that. Yeah, I think that's it. Fire. So that's why I've got a few of these, because I haven't done this for a long time. So there's a fair chance, well, actually we'll do that and we'll zoom in. There's a fair chance it'll catch on fire, or when I go to pull it, it'll just rip. So because I've not made wire, I don't know. I couldn't even think of when I last made the wire. I was in like sort of 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. I'm really not too sure. But there we go. We get in a bit closer to the action. And so it's a case of heating it up, so then you can feel that it's starting to, obviously, hopefully not catch fire, and then you can just pull it apart nice and slow, and it will go into a kind of a wire. Unlike that one, which has just, so it's been a while. That's when I say wire, you don't get like a huge amount, you might get like 4 or 5 inches at most. And this is obviously why in all my videos I kind of speed up all the footage, just because otherwise it's like watching paint dry. Or maybe I need to go back and watch my video of me doing this, because I'm sure it's a lot easier than this. Yeah. Why is that not working? Right, let's stop that. It does work, honestly, trust me, it works, because I've done it. Did I only have a 2? Yeah, maybe I need to watch my own videos. Lazarus, flying hello before I head out again. All right, buddy. Hope you're having a good day, or you're going to have a good day, whatever you're doing. EJ95, I showed you off to one of my friends, so she's keeping her sprues. The only problem is that she's only gotten 2 models so far, so not much sprue. Oh, bless. Bob Brown, good day from down under. But it is 9 PM at night. Love your videos. Cheers, Bob. Hope you've had a good day. And obviously you're having a good evening. Andre, yeah, plastics that produce cyanide do so once they catch fire. Yeah, that's what I've been told quite a lot of times. You're going to leave the PC on lurking. Awesome. Great stuff. Right. Let's try it again with this. So if this doesn't work this time, then I am gonna go and have to watch my previous video to see how I did this, because I'm sure this is all I did. Just put it over the flame and then start pulling it, and it just stretches nicely. Oh man, that was going so well until it did that. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch my own video, because I'm sure this is all I did. How bizarre. Oh well. See, things don't always work to plan, and that's why obviously good old editing obviously cuts out any of these mishaps and just goes straight to the one that worked. But yeah, I'm gonna have to watch why this isn't working. I'm sure there's nothing else I did. So say honestly, you put them apart and you can get, again, say a good 3-4 inches of nice thin sort of wire. So I can't think what I would have done to the sprues prior to basically heating it up and pulling it. It's reassuring seeing me struggle with that, because it reminds me, who hasn't made sprue wire, that even the best of them. Yeah, again, yeah, things don't always. Because when I first did this, yeah, it would have been trial and error. But I say, it's what gets me is it is a simple thing to do. So the fact that it hasn't worked several times is, I mean, was I just lucky? But when I did it quite a few times. As in, I made quite a bit of wire to make certain things, and say I did it to make wire for antennas. I did use it for like barricades, so they all like wrapped wire. But yeah. Oh, I think my YouTube music has gone onto an ad. How very dare they? Oh, they're back. Yeah, I'm gonna go and watch one of my videos later, just to have a look to see why that wasn't working. But hey ho. Oh. All right, got a bit of a collection of rubbish there. Right. Okay. Well, moving on. Right, I'm going to do another bit that I'm going to do for the video later. Hopefully this one works out. And this one was simply, again, because I want to sort of show these being used, rather than sort of try and dig out the old footage when I use these, I may as well do them now for the video. So again, this is just to sort of show what can be done with sprues. The fact that you can make rubber molds, silicone rubber molds up, use the ooey gooey stuff in these. It doesn't deteriorate these molds in any kind of fashion. So say these are molds that I've made up. And obviously you can, any of the molds you can buy online can be used. So say these are obviously sort of circle molds. Bought these online from Amazon, and yeah, again I've used these loads. So the ooey gooey stuff with the acetone doesn't mess up these molds either. So again, that's why I want to sort of show in the video on Friday what can be done with them, and obviously the fact of using the green stuff roller to roll out and imprint on the panels as well. So that's the one we're going to do first, I think. Right, got my roller, got my goo, and take that off. Simon's Hobby Workshop, hello. Rysar, did I get a bad sprue? I think it was. I think you're right. So it's nothing to do with me. It was a wrong sprue. It probably wasn't a Warhammer one. It just sneaked in somehow, and it was the wrong sprue. Because obviously it can't be my fault. Surely it can't be my fault. I took it away from the flame earlier in the video. From the flame earlier in the video. Yeah, not saying. I don't know why that wasn't working, because I don't know. Bizarre. Right. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that I'm going to do. Let's move him out of the way because I don't want him in the shot. And I say this one's going to be talking about obviously using a roller. there you go. It's a case of simply rolling it out. But like I was saying earlier, the sprue goo is really sticky at the moment. So you kind of need to leave it at least 5 minutes. Just so it sort of starts to lose the full stickiness. Yeah. Oh. I may have rolled this out too thin. Yeah, because again, these the rollers I use have different coloured ends, and the different ends are obviously different thicknesses. And the one I've used is the smallest one, and this may be too thin, but we'll give it a go. If it is too thin, then I'll have to redo this with the other size on here. But yeah, again, you get to see the full process of what I do to make a video. And again, even though the video is a short video, it still takes a long time to make because it's made up of loads of obviously clips and sections. And each one takes the time to do. Obviously, in this case, this one I might have to redo because I've used the wrong thickness on, but I'm not sure. We'll see. So basically what I'll do, roll it out. Again, I can't pull the greaseproof paper off straight away because if I try to, it'll just pull the whole lot away. So again, I need to leave it, say 5-10 minutes before I can even pull the greaseproof paper off, and then I'll do the roller on it. So while that's obviously waiting for the 5-10 minutes, I can put that to one side. Oh, I can find somewhere to put it. Right, so that can go there. So while that is obviously giving it the 5-10 minutes, again, this is when generally whenever I make something, I do something, leave it, put it to one side, and then go on and do something else. So while that is doing that, I'm going to do these. And to do these, I will actually put my glove back on. Andre, you off? Okay, well, cheers for being here, buddy. You have a great day. Enjoy what you do. Hope, obviously, you get better soon. Yeah, you take care, buddy. I'll see you later. Thomas Plant, hello. How are you? Jody, can I explain the difference of using this tool to push the cream sprues with fingers? Can I explain the difference? Sorry, I'm not sure what the difference of what, sorry. What difference between using the roller or my fingers? Is that what you're sort of saying? Obviously, with this roller, because it's got these height things on it, when I roll it out, basically it'll flatten something out to whatever size the rollers are. So these rollers, I think I'll flatten it out to about 1-2 millimeters with these. I've got other size ones that go on the end, and then when you roll something flat, it'll then make it all, say, 5 millimeters in depth. I think I have got one that's like 10 millimeters. But obviously for the panels, I like them nice and thin. So that's why I do them sort of the 1 to 2 millimeter sort of size. Simon bought the green stuff rolling pin and tried it once on the sprues. They kept sticking. Do I have any? Yeah, like I've just said, I've just rolled it out. I'm going to leave it for at least 10 minutes. Because yeah, the sprue goo is really sticky. For the first few minutes, it sticks to everything. I mean, even to the extent it will the greaseproof paper. It will stick to the greaseproof paper. So if I try to pull the greaseproof paper off now, it would stick to it. Whereas if I give it 5-10 minutes, I can pull it off and it won't. So that's why when I do the green stuff running pin, again, which is why I'm doing all these little bits and pieces, filming them, and we'll be showing them in the video later this week. To make this work, you need to leave the stuff for at least 5-10 minutes, if not 20 minutes, half hour. It takes a while for the sprue goo to reharden, as in the acetone evaporate. So you've got plenty of time. So don't feel like you need to sort of rush to get it to work. Oh, let's put that back in there so I can. Oh, so I have got a small roller, but I've somehow seem to have lost it. So we'll use this, and this can be our small roller. So again, I'm going to show these moulds being used. So this is what I was saying about sometimes I film things out of sequence. Just because obviously I'm waiting for that to dry, so I can't do anything, so I may as well do something else. But then when I come to edit it, I'll show me rolling that out, then I'll say I've left it for 10-15 minutes, and then use the roller on it. But obviously while that is doing that, I also want to crack on and do a bit more. So I'm going to show these being filled, because again, when I fill these, These will need to be left. I mean, this panel, you can leave it about half an hour and take it out. That also will be left in there for like 7-8 hours before I can take that out. The Smith of Day is off to do the school run. Hope you have a good day. Catch you later. Thanks for being here. You yeah, have a good school run and have a good rest of your day, basically. Right, so we'll have that about there. I've got that to scoop it out, that to roll it. Yeah, I am good to go. Right, let's get some. There we go. So again, in my head, I'm kind of thinking roughly, when I edit the video, I'm going to be holding these bits up saying that I've made these moulds, silicone rubber, and simply to use them, just get the goo and scoop it out and chuck it in. That's going to be quite enough. Let's get some more. Oh, this is the last of it. Always find as well the goop that's at the bottom always seems to be a bit firmer than the stuff at the top. Right, I'm hoping that's going to be enough. So again, this stuff comes out, it is super sticky. So you give it a few minutes and then you can start pushing it, poking it, manipulating it, and obviously it is less sticky. I'll manipulate this with my hand first. So it might need some more goop on it, to be honest. Let's have a look. And what we'll do, a crafty little bit of cut scene, because I'll do that and I'm going to get a little bit of goop out of one of the others, because I don't think that's... Oh, I don't know, I might actually. Right, let's get a little bit out just to make sure. So obviously you didn't see this bit. I put enough in the first time. And we will actually put a little bit more in the other one because the other one's a little bit thin as well. There we go. So yeah, you'll get to see all the behind the scenes little bits here on, well, how I make the video basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to have that down just to change the old angle. Just because we like different camber angles just now and then, just to sort of mix it all up a little bit. And there we go, it's definitely enough there now. Cool. So we can put that back on. Bob Brown, long-time Games Workshop collector, who got a massive collection of Katachan? Many thousands of soldiers and armour. Oh wow. You're a 58-year-old disabled veteran. You love scratch building terrain and buildings. Awesome. Question: how long does a sprue last? Due date, expiry. Yeah, again, great question. It's one that comes up quite a bit, which is why the video I'm doing Friday, I'm going to go through lots and lots of sort of my experiences of the goo and stuff, and basically, what I will be saying in Friday's video is I once had some sprue goo in one of these jars, didn't use it, didn't open it, and it was 7 weeks. So how long it will last? I would say it would last indefinitely, so long as the acetone is above the level of the sprue or the goo. Because with the lids on, that's why I like using obviously these jars. One, obviously they're nice and cheap because I buy them from Tesco's. I get them with stuff in, but I find the cheapest ones I can find is like these. Oh, pardon me, these other ones I've got. These are huge. So I mean, this one was about 69p. These ones are a bit more. These are £1.10. But obviously the size of it, oh, I don't know, the camera's going nuts. The size of it is cool. So yeah, £1.10 for a huge big jar. And obviously airtight, or yeah, it should be, because obviously it's got the old button at the top, and obviously I think that should indicate that it's no air's getting in. So if no air is getting in, then the acetone shouldn't evaporate, because it only evaporates when it gets to air, or air gets to it. So if the air isn't getting to it, I can't see why it shouldn't last indefinitely. But I know from my own experience, I didn't make anything, so there's some period in my year where I'm making stuff. There was one period where for 7 weeks I made nothing using sprue goo, because I had sprue goo in a jar for 7 weeks, and then when I went to use it, so the only difference I found was it might have been a little bit thicker. As in, when you first open these up, the very top sort of big layer is really, really runny, really, really thick. Like I just sort of said then, when you get down to the very bottom and you're scooping it out, you can feel it is a bit thicker, but it still spreads out the same. There's no real difference there. And the one that I had for 7 weeks, again, it came out fine. I used it fine. It did feel that just like a little bit thicker. So yeah. So when I do the video that comes out on Friday, I'm going to basically say what I just said then, and say that I reckon as long as the acetone is above the goo, it will last indefinitely. And the fact it doesn't evaporate in there, or shouldn't evaporate in there, yeah, I can't see why it just won't last and last and last and last. Simon, you had to go experiment with the sprue stuff, and you put some water on it, and it dries much faster. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah. As I say, I don't know if it being in like a hot temperature or a cold temperature, I don't know if either one of those would affect it and make it dry quicker. I really don't know. Okay, because normally whenever I make things, like I would do what I'm doing now, and then I would leave it on the side, and I wouldn't even think about using it until the next day, just because I know then that it is fully cured, if we want to use that word. Right, so what we'll do, we'll leave those for a second, and we'll go back to the panel that I rolled out, and we'll have a go at using the green stuff roller on it. But so this is where we're going to see whether or not I have rolled this out too thin to use the impression on. Right. But so this is what I mean by, again, I wouldn't even take the acetone, the greaseproof paper off, even though it's greaseproof. It will stick to sprues in that first sort of minute or so. But if you leave it a little bit, it comes off perfectly like that. Obviously, we get our little roller out, and then pushing down firm. Oh no, it's still sticky. Right, so yeah, I haven't left it long enough. There we go. That'll teach me for rushing in. Obviously, it's starting to make the impression, but it is, yeah, it's not dried enough. So it must be, I didn't know how long I'd actually left it. Because normally I'd leave it for, I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour, and I'm kind of guessing I've not left it for even half of that. So yeah, we'll come back to that one. What's the time now? 17 past. Yeah, so I reckon about 11:45 we'll do that. I say, just because it is, yeah, the sprue goo is as sticky can be, and obviously when you're using these green stuff rollers, you do obviously have to like push it down and roll it quite firm. So you are making obviously an indentation, which is why if that is still sticky, I mean the top's not. Top is well, it's not dry obviously because it's only been left for a bit, but the top is not sticky. But obviously the layer underneath probably still is, which is why when you push this in and you push it firmly in, that's why it will then stick. Mitchell Wads, have I noticed if older goo at the bottom of the jar pits less on drying? I know what you mean. And yeah, there's a fair chance it would, because obviously if it's thicker at the bottom, it means there's not as much acetone in it, so there'll be less acetone to dry out, and obviously it's when the acetone dries out that it does leave the pitting and the holes. Yeah, good point. Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's why it might almost be, again, this is where a lot of the stuff that I do with this is trial and error and sort of finding out what works best. So yeah, I mean, it might be worth, when you scoop out the goo and you put it on your greaseproof bit of paper, leave it for 20 minutes, half hour, so it does start to dry out, then put the greaseproof paper on the top, then roll it out, and then, yeah, because then there should, in theory, be less acetone still in the goo, and yeah, by that theory, if there's less acetone in the goo, when it then dries out, it should leave less holes pitting, and yeah, it should be maybe smoother. Yeah, good point. Again, it's all trial and error, a lot of the stuff. Daniel, good evening from Australia. How am I? I'm very well, thank you. I hope you're well too. Yeah, so this stream, Daniel, and anyone else who may have just joined, it's kind of bits of all sorts, because I'm building, obviously, the Monster Bash creature. I'm building panels for the Tower Manta, and I'm also doing some bits and pieces for a video that's going to come out this Friday, which is basically going to answer, I hope, lots of questions people might have about Sprue Goo, how you can use it, what I've used it to make, and yeah, just my general experience of it, as well as me showing lots of things that I've made with it. Yeah, so the Monster Bash thingy, this is where I am at the moment. So a couple of things that may have changed from yesterday, because I haven't done anything to this today, but last night I got back late from doing the photo shoot, so I had a little bit of a play. I didn't like the cutout I originally did, so I I cut it out, filled the gap in, still need to do some bits to it. It's kind of sagged a bit there. Yeah, still a few more bits I need to do to this to make it look more like it's like being bitten with teeth. I started doing the arm, and the arm was basically a length of sprue. Obviously, like because you can obviously bend these by keep manipulating it, it'll bend the sprue round, and then put obviously sprue glue over the top. And it's funny, when I put the sprue glue over the top, it came out and it looked too smooth. It looked too nice and neat. So I actually had to go in with my tool and like prod at it and make it like basically like little indentations and basically a bit of a mess. But yeah, it was funny the way it came out. It's like it was super smooth. It was like, oh, the one time I don't want it to be smooth. So yeah, I had to go in and purposely mess it up. So yes, yeah, so that's the sort of stage I've got to with this dude. So basically I need to put another arm on him. Obviously I need to make this into more of like a tentacle that's going to have loads and loads of eyeballs in it. His tongue I want to make a bit longer. Need to finish off the flames on the candles. And I say his other arm, I've got two kind of choices what I'm doing with his other arm. One, it'll just sort of like come down to the side and sort of like curl around itself. Or two, I might have it coming up and over as though he's almost like touching his head, as in like, oh, where's that bit gone? So there. So this arm isn't going to do a whole lot other than coming out and going up, touching his head, or just coming out and flopping on the floor, basically. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get him finished possibly tomorrow. So I want to try and get him painted maybe this weekend, so he's all done. Even though the video for this won't come out, I say until the end of the month. I want to get it all done so I can get some pictures over to Trent at Miscast, basically. But yeah, I'm pleased with how this is looking. It's kind of looking scary, comical, and just nuts, basically. So yeah. Yeah, cool. As I say, this stream will probably go on till about 12. just I think a 3-hour stream is kind of like long enough for you guys and long enough for me, because I do need to go and obviously get something to eat because I am hungry. What is it today? Wednesday. Yes, I won't be doing a stream tonight. I won't be doing one first thing in the morning tomorrow. So tomorrow I will probably do a stream maybe afternoon, evening. Yeah, what is it tomorrow? Thursday. Yes, I think tomorrow I might do. Yeah, again I might mix it up completely. I think tomorrow's stream I might start around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK, and then go for like 3 hours, 4 hours from there, I guess. We'll see. Again, I don't like to commit to things too much. Right, so yeah, so this I'm definitely going to leave for another half an hour. I say the good thing with this stuff, or good thing or bad thing, because it does take a long time to dry, it does mean you've got a lot of time to work with it. As in, obviously I did rush that. So when I come to video it, I'm going to like cut that bit out. And do a close-up of me with the roller rolling it out so you can see the impression. So yeah, so again, yeah, guys, any questions you've got on sprue goo or even just sprues in general, and obviously what I make and how I make them, ask them now. I think I've got about 7 or 8 questions that I'm going to kind of like answer and go through in Friday's video that are like the general kind of questions that get asked a lot. Again, for anyone who's just joined the stream now, the video that's coming out Friday, basically I've had a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, and looking at YouTube's analytics, most of them have come from Sprue videos. Not necessarily my recent ones, but some of my older Sprue videos. So obviously there's quite a lot of questions that are coming up that are answered in some videos but not answered in others. Like some of my videos, I don't show how I get the sprue goo. I just obviously bring the sprue goo out, use it, make it, and put it away. So obviously, a genuine question. Obviously, how do I make the sprue goo? Obviously, simple answer. Jar, acetone, sprue bits in jar. 8 hours later, bosh, done. But yeah, obviously a genuine question, because obviously, say some of the videos don't show me making this. So Friday's video will be me going through the whole thing from start. How I make sprue goo. Again, the question that came up a minute ago, how long can it stay in here? A question that I used to get asked a lot, I haven't been asked it for a while, how do I dispose of acetone? Because obviously it is a liquid that you can't just sort of throw down the sink. You've got to dispose of things properly. And obviously the answer is I don't dispose of acetone, because obviously why? I use it all the time. So what would happen, obviously these new jars are obviously a good example. Once I use all that amount of sprue, which I probably will be today, because I'm going to be making loads of panels up later on today. So I am going to be using all this sprue goo. So basically, once I use all the goo that's in there, I put more cut up sprues in here. If I need to, I'll top it up with a bit more acetone. So the acetone never ever gets thrown away. Basically, these jars will last and last and last. The only reason I get new jars is this is more cosmetic than anything else. It's because of the state they get in. Because obviously, as I put the tools in to scoop it out, obviously I scoop it up the sides, and then up the sides, obviously it stays up there. Sometimes when it goes hard and dries, I can just like peel it off. But yeah, that's why every now and then, I mean, we're talking every 3 months, 4 months, I'll go out and I'll buy new jars, just because obviously they look nicer. Again, no other reason. It doesn't really affect the use of the sprue or how it melts or any of that. It's purely because I like a jar that looks nice and tidy, as opposed to one that's got like streaks of sprue all over it. So yeah, so again, these just get topped up. They get topped up rather with acetone or with sprues. And like we're saying, I could put this in the cupboard, leave it in there, and in 7 weeks' time, I could go and get it back out, and I'd use it, and it's fine. So that's why nothing gets thrown away. It just keeps getting topped up. So yeah, Mitchell, is there any issue with putting primed sprue in to be good? Putting primes. Yeah, that's something I was saying earlier about people sending in sprues to me. Obviously, I'm going to need lots of sprues, so send them in. I don't mind if they come in panels like this, or if they come in a box and they're already pre-cut. Doesn't bother me how they come to me. The only sprues that I won't put in there are ones that have got paint on them. again, the only issue there, I think I've only done it once before, and it wasn't a big issue, but obviously when you put sprues in that have been painted, it does obviously affect this a bit. Obviously you can see I've got different coloured sprues in here. So normally the colour of the acetone goes green. Sometimes, like, I've got a variety of sprues here. I've got obviously some red ones, blue ones, and obviously some like goldish colour ones. They will change the colour of the acetone and it will go a dark colour. When you put sprues in that have been painted, again, it goes dark, plus the paint doesn't seem to fully dissolve. It goes bitty, as in you'll see little bits, like flakes of paint, just floating around. Doesn't affect it a whole lot. Again, it might just be purely cosmetic for me, because I can see the bits floating around, floaters. I don't like it. So I would rather just use normal sprues that have got no paint on. But again, it might just be purely cosmetic. They might still go on perfectly. I'm not too sure, because like I say, I don't do it. I don't use it. I did it once, and it left a lot of bits in there. And I think when I got the goo out and put it out and flattened it, you might still be able to see like little flakes or specks of the paint where it hasn't fully dissolved or melted. I don't think it affected what I was doing, but again, purely from my point of view, I like things to look neat, nice, and all the rest. So yeah, I don't put painted sprues in. That's a rather long explanation for a simple question, wasn't it, really? Description: you love how I reuse it. Have I ever tried using any other liquid to make the glue, methylated spirit, etc.? I haven't. No, I don't think so. Again, when I first started doing all of this, I may have tried lots of different things, and then obviously I got to a stage where I know how something works, why it works, and it works for what I needed to do. So I kind of like stuck with the same thing. I know when I first started, I did have methylated spirits because I was trying to get paint off old figures. I'm not sure if that's how I did this, and obviously it turned into goo. I can't remember how I got onto making goo. I really can't think of how I did it. It may have been a mistake where I say I got a variety of stuff, because I was going to do a video on stripping paint off figures, like which ones work best. I'm not sure if that's how I used this stuff, and obviously it melted the figure. Whereas obviously if you use this stuff on a metal figure, then it's great. I think this stuff, acetone, is better than using methylated spirit or isopropanol, the alcohol stuff. But obviously, yeah, on metal figures this is great. Obviously on plastic figures, well, I think we kind of know what happens to plastic figures. So, yeah. Yeah, so I say Friday's video will be a good video. Go and watch it, obviously, when it comes out. Probably going to be Friday, 8 o'clock, just because that's generally a good time. Yeah, so Friday, what's Friday? Yeah, so Friday I might do a live stream prior to the video coming out. But again, don't hold me to it, but maybe. Right, so again with this, let's get my glove back on. When I do moulds with the silicone moulds, again, gravity, it sucks things down. So we'll film this. So what I have to do is when I do things with, I mean obviously the flat one is fine, because obviously it is flat. So it being flat, it's no issues. When you're doing a mould that's obviously got sides that are high, say the goo will just sink down. So generally what I normally do is every half hour, an hour, keep an eye on it, and then every now and then obviously re-push it so it comes back up the sides. And then you will get to a stage where it will just obviously cure or dry, and it'll be where it needs to be. So basically when I've edited this video, I'm going to say exactly kind of what I've just said to you guys just then, really. So yeah, I'm obviously showing the fact that it has sunk down, and then it is just a case, I say, because this stuff will stay relatively soft for like 7 hours or more. And it's just a case of dragging it from the centre and pulling it up the sides. there we go. So again, even the simple videos that I make can still take quite a while to make all the parts for a simple video. But yeah, I don't mind because I like making stuff, so it's all good. Right, so we'll leave that there. So I'm going to roll that thing out a bit later. So I think what I'm going to do for the next half hour, I'm going to make another panel up. So I need to make loads and loads of panels. So I will make another panel. And obviously to make the panels, they are simple, but take a little bit of time. So what I need to do is obviously cut nibbly-knobbly bits off. I'm just going to a little bit of a rearrange because again, I don't like working in a mess or disarray. I like things to be nice and neat in their place. And yeah, tidy. So we'll have a quick little move around. So say yeah, for the next half hour, I'm literally just going to make a panel or two. Just because I need so many. Over there. That can be left there. Yeah, so yeah, any questions, guys, by all means ask away. Yeah, I hope you're all having a good day. Today, Wednesday, then, halfway through the week. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely getting hungry now, though. I must admit, I'm definitely going to have a sandwich. So I'm just going to have a quick check of things. Cool. Daniel, how many panels? I've only got 7 so far. And I'm kind of thinking, even just for the this kind of centre bit, because basically, obviously, this bit's obviously nice and sort of boxy shape, and obviously the front then like slopes up. So the box bit here I'm making first, and this is going to be made up of several boxes. Again, so I want to make this so it really is sturdy, and I know you can pick this thing up from any angle, and it's just not going to bend or warp or sort of misshape. So if anything, I'm going to make it probably over. I'm probably going to go overkill on making it sort of structurally sound, just because I really want to make it strong. So yes, I mean even the panels just for this bit alone, I reckon I'm going to need at least sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each one, 6, 12, 18, 24. Yeah, maybe about 30 panels just to make this bit. Then obviously I need more panels to make the front bit going up. But again, I want to make enough panels that I can sit and build quite a big chunk of it. Because obviously the idea is to build the boxes, glue all the boxes together, and then again I'll probably put filler in all of the gaps. So because this stuff is great as a filler, but obviously it's a filler and a glue. Because obviously once it dries, it goes back to being plastic. So yeah, so this stuff is really really good for filling, gluing, all that kind of stuff, but it does then mean you need to leave that for another day or two before you can then do some more to it. So say that's why this thing's probably going to take so long. There's going to be more gaps than me actually doing things. Yeah, more gaps in between. So I'm kind of estimating 3-4 weeks. It may be longer than that. I can't see it being any less because of the gaps in between. But I'm excited to build this. I'm going to enjoy the process of building this, and yeah, I'm going to love the process of obviously painting it and it being complete and being able to show you this in its full size glory. I say because I'm building this in parts on my desk. I think even if I took off all my Arty Station modular sort of bits and pieces, I think even then it would only just fit on my desk, because I haven't got a big desk. It's quite a small desk. So I may well have to show this me standing up somewhere else in the room. Yeah, just to show it all off in its glory. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so here's just a case of making a whole load of panels. So start by, say, cutting all nibbly knobbly bits off. And obviously these go in my little box and they'll go into a jar to be made into to goo, really. So, have you guys got anything exciting planned for today? Anyone going out or doing anything? Or I suppose where a lot of you are, it could be nearly bedtime, I guess. Or early morning. All kinds of times, isn't it? Really, all over the place, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so don't forget, guys, Friday the video will be out. Because I do know that sometimes good old YouTube doesn't always notify people. So yeah, if you are subscribed, if you can, make sure your notification bell is on and it's on to everything, because you can go on the bell and there's different settings, and the best setting is obviously all, because then it basically means whenever I do a video you get notified, and whenever I go live you get notified. Obviously if you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. Obviously it helps my channel out, and I say, yeah, I'm kind of trying to plan or work my way towards hopefully next year possibly doing this sort of full time, which would be really good. But obviously I need your help in sharing, subscribing, leaving comments, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff, because obviously that all helps promote my video to more people, basically. I seem to have found a panel that has a ton of nibbly knobbly bits at the bottom. I mean, all the others have got like bits on, but this seems to just have, it's like everything seems to be underneath. I mean, I could leave these on, but then when you lay it on the greaseproof paper and you put the sprue glue in, obviously it'll just seep down, seep under, it'll just be like all over the shop. So it's worth, so I always think it's worth spending time doing something like this, just because then you get a better end result. It's almost like building a house. You need to make sure the foundations are all perfect to then build on. Whereas if you skip the foundations and just rush into the building bit, obviously you'll get the building bit done, but then it'll just, well, collapse and won't be as good. So yes, even though this bit is boring, mundane, repetitive, and I know I've got to do this on all the panels, I would still rather do this just to make sure everything else then goes really well, basically. Daniel just finished a 2,000 point 40k game today. It was great. It had been a while. Oh, awesome. Did you win? And what were you? What was your team? Your army? Is it orcs? Right. I think that might. There's a few little. So some of these are very little, and they shouldn't really make much of a difference. So because some of these panels I'm actually filling in now, you won't actually see these are going to be inside. So again, they don't need to be perfect, but I still know what they're like, so I still want them to be as good as they can sort of be, really. Right, yeah, I think that is done. Cool, right, we'll get these nibbly knobbly bits together, and let's say these can all go in that little box of, well, nibbly knobbly bits, I guess. And the good thing is, I say these are great mats, because I can obviously, you've got a big one underneath. The smaller ones I use because I can just move things around. Yeah, so if you're looking for new cutting mats, guys, again, I've got links down below to sort of companies that I'm like sort of partnered up with, and these are from a company called Graphics Direct. Yeah, obviously great quality cutting mats. They do a whole variety of cutting tools, rulers and other bits and pieces. I don't get any money from them, but if you do go there and buy anything, if you can leave some of it in the comments that you saw, obviously their products on my channel, it'll just be really good. And yeah, there's loads of things down there. So there are some companies that I'm sort of linked with that I can do discounts on. One of them is Artiscapade. They do the brushes that I use. Great quality brushes. And I think they're pretty cheap anyway. But you can get 15% off with my code, which is obviously cool. Yeah, Easy Roller Dice. I briefly went through the dice because they've just done a dice tray for me. Oh man, my desk is getting so messy now. It's untrue. It's a right old 2 and 8. Yeah, I'm going to quickly show you the dice tray because it's coming out today. At the moment, if you go on the link, which I'm going to leave in the description in a minute, if you go on the link now, it's saying it's out of stock. But I've been told that should be changing in the next few hours. So yeah, so if you do use a dice tray for, well, rolling dice, you can now get one with my face on, and I love nibbly knobbly bits. So yeah, you can roll your dice on my face. And that sounds a bit rude or not. But obviously they do a lot of dice. And obviously they send me their dice. So I've got a nice collection of some of my favourites. And these are my favourites. Again, I love the metal ones. They're nice and heavy and they roll really well. These are my favourite because you can see the numbers really, really clear. The green on the sort of shiny black works really well. So they're my favourite dice to actually use. But then my favourite dice to sort of look at are in here. Again, all metal ones. And these ones I just love because of like the aged copper look. But the only downside with these ones is when you roll them, you have to like look closely. And because I wear glasses, I have to look really closely. So these ones I really like because of the aged sort of copper look. And again, all nice and metal, roll really well. But these are the ones that I kind of use more just because it doesn't matter where you are, the green on that silvery black just shows up really well, really well. So again, there's a link to these guys in my description. Easy Roller Dice. There is a link as well. Have I put it on there? I think I have, haven't I? Oh no, I need to put the link, not the link, but there's a code that you can get 15% off the dice as well. And I say, if you go and have a look, they do a whole variety of dice, as well as some huge big dice. Obviously, normal sized dice, big sized dice. Which again, I mean, that's just lovely. And obviously that goes with the other sort of set more than anything. Just because again, you can see the numbers real clear. But yeah, so there's a good bit of weight to that as well. So if you ever get angry at the table, roll that on the table and it'll just take out an army. But yeah, so this dice tray, I will leave the link to go to the dice tray, but at the moment it's saying sold out. I'm not sure why. They have said it should be, I think their website's updating, but I'm not sure what time it updates. And when it does update, then you'll be able to buy it. They've only made so many of these, and what they have said to me though is if these do sell, then if I want, I can get some dice made specially that'll have my logo on, which I think's pretty nuts as well. So guys, yeah, but it does go. If you do use dice trays, go and check it out. I think it's $21.95. With my code, you can get 15% off. And say it's a great quality dice tray. It really is nice. I mean, I've used it a lot. And yeah, you get to roll your dice on my face. That does just sound rude. But anyway, let's put that away. Right, so we've got 15 minutes left, so we're going to get one more panel done. I can get that back over there. Alright, what was I doing? Oh, dice, that was it. Right, not dice. Oh, going nuts. I've just lost. Is that the one I did? Oh, that's it. Again, you're seeing the nice tidy part of my desk. The other half of my desk as well, so I keep putting things, and it just seems to be piling up now. And again, I don't like it, so I can see it. It's in the corner of my eye, and it's getting to be a bit of a mess. So yeah, I'm going to finish at 12. I'm going to go make myself a sandwich because I am feeling hungry, and I'm going to give my desk a good old tidy up. And then I'm probably going to sit here, make a few more panels. I've got some other work I need to get done as well, actually. So I might do that first. But yeah, so the next live stream will be, yeah, tomorrow evening, I would have thought. So, cool. EJ, I'm starting to get really tired. I might fall asleep, but I think I've got the thing set up to show Only your stuff. Autoplay happens. Awesome. Yeah, guys. Again, simple little thing, but if you can click on one of my playlists and then just let it run, if you're going out and doing stuff, say, especially on computers, if you're on a computer, go and stick one of my playlists on. Go and stick a playlist of my live streams, because obviously each one of those videos is like 2-3 hours. Again, simple little thing, but it helps my channel out no end. And yeah, so it pushes me a little bit more forward to my sort of goal of doing this full time, which would be awesome. Daniel, it was a really close game, but you managed to take the win. Also, Necrons. Oh, cool. I do like Necrons. They're pretty cool looking things. Do I watch anyone on YouTube to get inspiration for creating sprue models? Not really. No. I think it's the answer to that one. Mainly because obviously no one else, I think, really does a whole lot with sprues, or certainly not to the extent I sort of do. No, there's quite a lot of YouTubers that I like watching because of just their general building style, technique. And I say one of my favourites has got to be Trent at Miscast, just because he's really imaginative with what he makes, which is just pretty awesome. So yeah, I like watching his stuff. Manta, how is the storage doing? Didn't chat. Had to go to Wilco for some cable ties. See, now I thought you weren't chatting because you were driving here to drop their muffins off. Because I'm still waiting. Because honestly, I am hungry. I need to make myself a few sandwiches in a minute. Yeah, good old Wilco's. The metal ones look super. Yeah, so with the dice, I do like metal ones over any of the other ones. Well, that being said, I don't think I've got them here. They've also sent me some dice made from stone, and they're really nice dice. I think I like all dice apart from the plastic ones, really. The metal ones I love because, say, the weight, they just feel nice when you sort of like you roll them. But the stone dice are really nice. And yeah, say Easy Roller Dice have sent me a lot of dice, and it's great because I'm starting to get a bit of a collection of dice. And yeah, I'm loving their dice. So yeah, so if you're after dice of any kind, go check out Easy Roller Dice. I need to leave the link, the discount code. I think it's Mini15 is a discount code to get 15% off when you buy from them, basically. So they do a shed load of types of dice. So yeah, so if you're into collecting dice as well as obviously using the dice, yeah, you want to go and check them out because they've just got a ton of types of dice. And they've got my my dice tray, which say at the moment is it still saying sold out? Let's refresh. Yeah, it's still saying sold out. I know sometime today it should not say sold out, but yeah, I'll keep you updated on that one. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to make one more panel, and then I'm probably going to end the stream, I say, just so I can go and get something to eat. Obviously not that I'm going to waste away. I think I've got enough storage on me to survive quite a while. Alright, so good old goo. I don't know, I may as well get several bits out. I always like to leave it for a minute or two. So if I start pushing that around now, it's just going to stick to my gloves, sort of something rotten. Let's stick one over there. We'll have one more, I think. We'll have this fella. He can go up there. There we go. So we'll give those a few minutes and I can push them out and make another panel. Yeah, so in regards to say, I always have several projects on the go. Just because obviously I like making things all the time, and some of the things I make do need time to sit, cure, rest, dry, whatever. So obviously it's the Tower Manta I'm making. Obviously the Monster Bash creation. I'm also making some D&D stuff. So I'm making some terrain pieces, some quite large sort of. Basically, I'm making a large board, and then I'm going to make some bits that can go on it. So obviously, I've made all those trees. I'm going to make some like rocky, mountainy bits. Yeah, a whole variety of stuff to go obviously with outdoor terrain. So you'll be seeing some videos with me using some army painter stuff, because they very kindly sent me a load of paints, which are D&D paints, which is awesome. So obviously I've got loads of D&D figures. They also sent me some box sets on how to, or not how to, but box sets with stuff that you can make outdoor terrain. So there's the old electric hot wire cutter, as well as obviously loads of foam to sort of cut up, some basing sort of stuff like stones and little flowers, and a whole basically a variety of stuff you need to make outdoor terrain. So some of them videos will be coming up sort of soon as well. What else am I working on? Yeah, it's just quite a few bits and pieces to do with D&D, I think, basically. So yeah, so there's quite a few things that I'm kind of like, I like to be busy all the time, which is why I have a variety of projects always on the go, just because then I can sort of flip between them all, really. Right. When will I be streaming next? So yeah, my next streaming will probably be tomorrow. I think I might do like an afternoon one. I might start streaming at say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. Might be my next one. Mickey, you need to rewatch the Dice Tower build. Yeah, again, that was a nice simple one from the Sprues, and something usable, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, go and check that one out. Yeah, I think my phone, I think it must be when it's on too long. That's when it's just start doing this sort of going in and out. Again, I don't know why, it's on manual, so it shouldn't change anything. So yeah, these panels, it's a nice simple case of manipulating the sprue goo and just moving it around to fill in all the little gaps. And I say these panels are really good now because they are panels that have like a framework inside, so it just gives them more strength and stability for, say, obviously making a bigger build. This is definitely the way to go. So it's quite a good little workout. So you can fit it in the arms and the shoulder. So the fact I've got to make so many of these panels, which is why I'm going to make sort of a few each day rather than trying to make a ton of them. So say I think the actual build or starting to build or assemble of the Manta won't happen until next week when I've got quite a few panels, and then I can say start to make like the carcass of the Tau Manta. And again, so the video that's going to come out Friday is going to be talking about this now. I just suddenly thought about it. I know a lot of people often ask, can I smell acetone in the air? And the answer is no. When I open the lid up and I take the stuff out, obviously you get a whiff of it then. But this stuff, as soon as the acetone kind of like gets into the air, it starts to dry out almost immediately. Which is why I say this has got like a skin already on it. Because it doesn't take long for it to start evaporating. So that's why my room doesn't stink of acetone. So I do have the windows open, but like I was saying earlier, I kind of have the windows open more because of the glue. I find the glue has a real strong smell, and that smell sometimes lingers in the air, especially if you're gluing like loads of bits together. Yeah, there's definitely more of a glue smell in the air than say acetone. It's only when that lid's off that you can smell it. Once you get the goo out and you're doing what I'm doing now, there's no smell whatsoever. But again, that's the kind of sort of question I'm going to be answering in Friday's video, as well as I say showing examples of how to make certain things, and I'm going to get some of my favourite builds and sort of roughly sort of say how I've made them and what I've done to make them. So say hopefully Friday's video should be a nice, fun, informative one, really, especially for all those new people that have joined my channel, especially when obviously a lot of them have joined through watching Sprue videos basically. Right, let's put another one on. So just before we do go, guys, if you can, if you haven't already, give the old thumbs up button a bit of a push. Again, that sort of thing, it's nice and simple to do, but YouTube obviously sees that as a good thing because it means you're interacting with my channel. And yeah, YouTube basically likes interaction between watchers and videos. Obviously watching the videos obviously a great interaction, because obviously that's the main one. But yeah, leaving comments and hitting the thumbs up button, and obviously sharing wherever possible, guys. If you can share any of my videos on any kind of forums, on Facebook, any other Discords you might be in, all that kind of stuff, obviously all helps out. Obviously you've got Twitter, do it on Twitter. I mean, I've got a Twitter account, but I think I've only got like 1 or 2 people following me, so I don't generally tend to put my stuff on Twitter. I put obviously pictures and that on Instagram, but yeah, Twitter I don't really use. So if you've got Twitter and you've got lots of people following you, yeah, stick me on there, please. And I say it's definitely my goal now to try and be able to do this, or be in a position to do this next year as my full-time job. One last little scoop should do me. Lewis, don't even play tabletop Warhammer 40k, but love your videos. You are a gentleman. Thanks for making these. Oh, thank you so much. Cheers, Lewis. Yeah, I don't play the tabletop games either. I always feel bad and wrong that I say that, because obviously most of my stuff on my channel is for like Warhammer or tabletop gaming in general, and yet I don't play the game, and yet I make all these bits. I think that's the thing. I am a maker rather than a player. Obviously, that being said, I am going to be playing D&D soon. I have now got a group of people, and yeah, I think we're starting in about 2-3 weeks, and hopefully playing once a week, which I can't wait for, because it has been a while. Right, we got 1 little scoop, so I don't need too much. I mean, that might be too much, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. It can go on there. It's like then I can smell the acetone now, and well, smell it a little bit. Yeah, can't smell it. So say literally within like a minute of the lid being put back on the jar, this being out, and then yeah, the smell just goes so quick, which is obviously good. I say, in fact, I think the only time I actually wore a mask, because I've got a proper mask, was when I was building the Orc Wizard Tower. I say I've made it out of Sprue bricks, and obviously every brick I've glued individually. There's about 400 or 500 bricks or so in it. I started doing that, and within about 20 minutes, I started feeling like I had a headache. You could just smell the glue in the air, and yeah, I actually put a mask on to do the rest of it, just because, yeah, the smell of the glue lingers in the air. All right, that is that panel done. So again, that's now got to be left for at least 7-8 hours for it to sort of fully dry out. But then what I am then doing is putting a whole load of books on top of these for another day or so, just so, because with this one, obviously you can see it has started warping. So even though this was fully dried, it's obviously still drying a little bit afterwards. So you have to kind of like flex it back a bit to make it obviously flatter. So what I'm doing with obviously these ones is I'm leaving I've got a stack of books, basically all the D&D books that I've got. Because I haven't got normal books, I've only got D&D books, but I've got loads. So I'm putting them on top, and I'm going to leave them on top for another day or so, just to make sure they're fully dry and they stay nice and flat. So when I get these out and I start gluing them together to make the box shape, again, that's going to make them nice and flat and keep them sort of that way. But yeah, so again, that's why I won't be starting to build anything really for the towel, as in assembling it, until next week when I've got loads of panels, and then I can really crack on. And so once I get the carcass built, then I can start making all the little intricate bits on the top, and obviously the jet engines and all the different levels and the slopes, and yeah, all that fun stuff that will be more interesting for you guys to watch. So I know when I made the Orc Stomper, I think the first 2 live streams with the Orc Stomper, they were about 2-3 hours each. All I was building was the framework. So all I was doing was lots of obviously getting these, cutting them into like the long bits, and then gluing. So yeah, it took about 7-8 hours of live streaming before I even got to an area where it started to look like I was making an Orc Stomper by doing all the panels and all the rest of it. So that's going to be the same with this sort of build. It's going to be a while before it actually starts to look like I'm making a spaceship, basically. But hey ho. Right, I'm about done there, guys. Because say I do need to go and get something to eat. So the video that comes out Friday, you'll be able to see me using the old roller, so you'll be able to see how it looks in the thing, as well as obviously the molds that I've made, and say a whole variety of other things. So anything you've all ever wanted to know about Sprues and what I do with Sprues should be out in the video on Friday. So guys, if you can check that out, that would be awesome. Daniel, do you think the rounded edges are going to be a problem when collecting the panels? No, to be honest, because obviously I'm going to use the underside, which is obviously nice and flat. Like I say, when these are obviously sort of together, there is going to be a little bit of a gap, possibly there. But so what I'm going to do is when I do glue all the panels together, I'm going to use this as a filler and kind of like a glue, and I'm going to put that over any bits where there might be like small little gaps. I mean, there is going to be like a small little gap where obviously the edges are rounded. I'm going to fill that with a sprue. But again, all these boxes that I'm doing, a lot of them you're not even going to see. They're going to be the inside of this big sort of carcass sort of framework thing I'm making. So yeah, you're not going to see a lot of this stuff. So say again, it's that whole case of there's a lot of effort going in to areas you're not going to see, but it needs to be done to make sure this thing is strong and structurally sound and won't just collapse on itself when you pick up the wings. I want to make sure this is going to be as strong as you'll be able to drop this or fly this out of a window on a 3rd story building and it'll hit the deck and it'll just land. It might not, but I wouldn't try that anyway. Right, guys, thanks for being there. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I've just been in the background of whatever you've been doing this morning. Yeah, next stream will be, say, tomorrow, Thursday, again, afternoon. I'm not sure. It might be like 2 in the afternoon in the UK, or it might be 5 o'clock in sort of afternoon, evening. I'm really not too sure. But yeah, man, I am going to enjoy my sandwich. I would have enjoyed a muffin 10 times more. I'm going to check. I'm sure Dorking's only about an hour from where I am. So, yeah, anyway. You guys have a great day. Have fun. I'm obviously going to try and exit gracefully by clicking on the right buttons, because sometimes I make a mistake of it. So I'm going to get rid of that one first, so then I can pull faces at you guys and you don't know. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys, for being there. Hope you enjoyed it. And enjoy the rest of your day, basically. So, yeah, that's it, guys. You take care. Bye for now.